to rumble! Get ready to rumble!
Pump up the chin, yo, pump it up, yo, pump it in. Aggressive,
Y'all ready for this?
I like to move it, move it. I like to move it, move it. I like to move it, move it.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble! Get ready to rumble!
pump up the chin, yo, pump it up, yo, pump it in. Aggressive,
Y'all ready for this?
I like to move it, move it. I like to move it, move it.
That's right. Whoop! There it is. Buckeye style. Welcome to the OHIO podcast, everybody. I'm your host, the Buckeye Bogues, aka the Podfather. That's the Wild Man, and that guy down there is incredibly embarrassed right now. John Kennedy from Always Irish. John, welcome.
Hey, at least you know if this doesn't work out for you, you could be a DJ at a junior high sock hop. You could always do that. You could just mix up the tunes there. I like that. I like that. Jock Jams part 1, 2, and 3. I like
There
that.
you go, man. Hey, listen. You got the chain on.
Yeah.
All right. You got your chalice, right?
Oh, I got the chalice of malice.
If John Kennedy was an overweight Buckeye fan, this is what he would look like right here.
Big
This
game
is it.
chain. Big game chain, baby. It's just too bulky to wear.
Well, when you got to put some weight on, you got to put more on your hot dogs than just ketchup, big dog.
Yeah, that's a good one. Dude, I tell you, I couldn't gain weight if I wanted to. This Notre Dame stress every minute of my life. There's no way. There's no way. Oh, I like that.
All we're missing is the grill. I'd be like if baby Gronk grows up and is unsuccessful, here he is.
You should have get some tin foil and wrap it up in your teeth and come on like that. Do a little of that.
Oh, folks, this is what we've been waiting for.
It's true.
John Kennedy on from Always Irish on the OHIO podcast, everybody. It's going to be wild tonight, folks. Absolutely wild. We are going to have a great time tonight. So let's get right off to it, everybody. We are the official Ohio State podcast of Fansided and Scarlet Game. Head over to scarletgame.com. Check us out over there. Hey, as John says, if you don't like the way our faces look, and who could blame you, you can listen to the podcast over at scarletandgame.com or wherever you download your podcasts, including this train wreck tonight. We are also the official Ohio State podcast of The College Huddle. Head on over to The College Huddle where you can listen to us and or 75 other great podcasts from coast to coast, including Always Irish, Sports Illustrated, Always Irish, that is. All right, John, we are 4 days away from the biggest game in college football for this season. It's the Irish. It's the Buckeyes. It's Marcus Freeman. It's Ryan Day. It's got everything you possibly could want, including no Wolverines. This is the day. So, that being said, John Kennedy, introduce yourself for anybody who doesn't know you, and we'll jump right in, man.
This is a special time, and we're going to start with this. No matter what happens, it's going to piss off all the Michigan people. So at least we got that going for us. And there's some pride here that these are some Northern old school helmets that are in this thing deciding the championship. Some good old Northern football here deciding this. I like that. Like you said, John Kennedy, Always Irish on YouTube. Read all about it. Notre Dame Fighting Irish, brought to you by Sports Illustrated, SI, Patreon, Always Irish, Twitter, Always Irish. Just Google Always Irish. You'll find it.
There you have it, guys. Chris, how you doing tonight, man?
Man, I'm just looking forward to our Buckeyes getting out there and taking that football and shoving it down Marcus Freeman's throat.
Well, that's a good start. Yeah, happy to be here. I love you too, buddy. It's been a while. It's good to see you too. Look at
John,
these
you
stats.
have to understand, John. Respect to Notre Dame, respect to the program, respect to the tradition, but I cannot stand the backstabbing coward that is Marcus Freeman.
I think what you mean to say is, as a diehard Ohio State person, I'm supremely proud that one of our very own good former players is now leading another program to a championship run. Isn't that what you meant to say?
What I meant to say is I hope he stubs his toe getting out of the bathtub.
I'm telling you what. Listen, what are you and Ryan Day going to tag team fight Lou Holtz after the game or what? Settle down over there, buddy. Settle down.
I love nothing more than to push down that little old man.
Dude,
Loser Holtz needs to go. Freeman needs to go.
I actually think Lou Holtz got in a car accident the other day, so he's even weaker than he usually is at frail 95-pound, 88-year-old self. So, yeah, you could tag Ryan Day out and fight Lou Holtz yourself if that's what you want.
He's still got those damn jaw muscles moving, though.
That's about all the muscle he's got left to move. Give the old boy a break. Dude, these chats are killing me already. Somebody said, ask Kennedy if they're going to play with 10 guys on defense again.
Well, Freeman can't count to 11.
He figured it out after the Northern Illinois game. We're good now. We're good. We're over it. We're good.
Woo! All right, now we got that out of our system.
Yeah, do you feel better, Chris? Did you get that out?
I
Just
will
let
feel
it all
better.
out, bro.
I will feel better after we just completely destroy Notre Dame on Monday. That's when I'll feel better.
Okay.
So this is why I have to deal with if Ryan Day loses, he wants him fired immediately. See this? I mean, we swing from extreme to extreme over here, man. It is. He's gonna hammer Lou Holtz and Marcus Freeman, and I want him fired. That's what's going on here.
What has been my statement from the beginning, Eric? My faith is not in Ryan Day. My faith is in this team. It is in the guys on the field.
Who coaches this team?
Half the time, it's hard to tell.
So wait. Okay, now let me ask something to start this. So I talked to Eric the other day. Chris, where are you at with the Ryan Day experience? It's quite the comeback from you guys' show that I saw after the Michigan loss until now. Is it, if he beats Notre Dame, he's fully redeemed? Give the guy a trophy?
No.
Try and beat Michigan next year, but at least we got the title. Like, where are you at on this?
Where I'm at is with that is this. If and when he beats Notre Dame, he has gained a little bit of grace. He has gained a little reprieve until November.
Man, that is a weird dynamic. Getting the championship, but feeling like there's like a piece missing. So that's a very unique dynamic, I think.
It's sad to say, and people will criticize me for this, and quite frankly, I don't care. But winning the title without beating the scum is just a little bit hollow.
Yeah. Well, then maybe we should just take it then, and you could start over next
Well,
year.
that's not going to happen.
And do the whole
That's
thing.
not going to happen.
I'm sure we'll get into that. I'm genuinely interested to know from your guys' side what this confidence level's like in your guys. Like, I'm seeing a lot of wild stuff out there where it's like, what, just make the room in Columbus for the trophy now? Why even bother Notre Dame showing up? I'm seeing a lot of that. Why show up?
You want to know why show up? And I'll tell you why show up. 2002.
Yeah, that's a good reference. That's a terrific reference. That's very good, Chris. Good job. That's good.
I actually went back and observed that game again and tried to relive those feelings for myself. I'll do the same thing as we get closer to Monday with 2014. But I tell you, this is why I personally am not out here saying it's going to be a blowout. Because I've watched Notre Dame win week after week after week after week, convincingly, mind you, and get to the playoffs, and nothing fazed them in the playoffs. Even a bad start against Penn State didn't faze them. This is why games are played on the field and not on PlayStation and not on paper. And if Ohio State doesn't bring their A game and they don't show up and do exactly what some people expect them to do, then yes, Notre Dame can still win this game. I believe that, which is why I am not taking Notre Dame lightly, and I don't believe this coaching staff nor the players are taking them lightly. So, that being said, how do you think, Mr. Kennedy, how do you think Notre Dame is approaching this game?
Man, it's going to be keep doing what you're doing. Like Notre Dame has the longest winning streak in America, hasn't lost since that Northern Illinois absolute nightmare. It feels very similar to the Michigan game for you guys, where maybe it takes an absolute disaster to get a switch to flip or whatever to change things, because I see that parallel with both these teams after a horrible disaster. They flip a switch and then turn it on. This Notre Dame team's beat up, been counted out all year. You're down like double-digit guys in the two deep, and next man up, next man up, next man up. I kept waiting for the bottom to fall out, and it just never did, man. The next guys up made plays. They just kept winning, and it just kind of rolled from there. I think the message for Notre Dame is we're just going to approach it how we've been doing it every week, and we're banged up, and whoever's in is in, and they're going to give it their all. And I just think it's kind of, I don't think they're going to change anything. It's just kind of keep doing what you're doing because it's been working. I will say this. If I look at how hot you guys have been in the playoff, when I look at the health between these two teams and I look at the top end talent, I think Ohio State should be favored. They should probably win the game. If both teams play a solid game, they should probably win. But Notre Dame refuses to lose. And so something's got to give, but it's like now's not the time to bail on Notre Dame, man. They made a miraculous run, injuries out the wazoo, overcame it. Now isn't the time to bail on them or doubt them. Like, you're in this game. It's not the NBA Finals where it's 7 games and the better team's going to grind out and end up winning the series. One football game, anything could happen, man. That the ball bounces weird ways. You're in it to win it, man. You roll the dice, give it your all. But this team has overcome all odds with the injuries and everything else. And here they are.
So I do agree. They've made a miraculous run. But, I mean, you yourself have to admit it wasn't exactly against the toughest schedule in the country. Even that Georgia win came against a Georgia team without their starting quarterback. That being said, they couldn't control that. They beat the teams in front of them. They did what they had to do.
Yeah, but okay, but here's the thing. It's like, well, leading up to the Georgia game, half of those Georgia people thought they might be an advantage to have this other quarterback because he could run a little more. And I heard that they were confident. And then we beat them, and suddenly they're all complaining that we only beat them because they didn't have their quarterback. And I'm like, you don't get to play both. But Chris, follow me here.
Yes.
There are reasons to downplay what Notre Dame's done all the way through. Oh, Indiana, we learned they didn't really deserve to be there or whatever. That could have gone to another team with more talent. Indiana didn't really belong there.
I'll argue that one for you, John.
Then you beat then you beat Georgia, and you have the quarterback dynamic. Never mind top 3 roster in the whole sport every single year in recruiting. Never mind any of that. It's just that one player. And then you beat Penn State, and it's, well, James Franklin has Brian Kelly's big game record. You don't get credit for beating him either. So it's like, I don't know what Notre Dame needs to do.
Just lay down. Save yourself the embarrassment.
I mean, hey.
Good Lord.
I am all for all of the confidence that I'm seeing from Ohio State. The more of it, the better. Some of you guys' bigger shows in the niche are really piling it on here with some of this. Go ahead. You should be favored. I understand. I'm not going to argue with that at all. You should be favored. I want all the pressure on the Buckeyes, all the pressure on Ryan Day, and then see what little old Notre Dame could do. That narrative, it's what it is, and we're going to embrace it fully. I agree with the spread. You should be favored, whatever. We'll play the underdog role, put all the pressure on you guys and Day to deliver, and we'll see what happens.
Lisa's calling you out. She's a Buckeye, Chris. If we lose this game, Chris will be back on the Fire Ryan Day train. True or false?
I've never been off of it, Eric.
Well,
all I said was he got a
holding
reprieve.
out of the train with one
All
arm.
I said is he got a reprieve and a chance to come back again next year if he wins the title. If not, I was in favor of running his ass out of town this year. I've never come off of that.
I know you were. All right. Sean Schrock with a $5 holla. What's up, Rich? Tim Brown and Tony Rice aren't going to be suiting up on Monday night, 35-7 OSU. This brings up a point I want to bring up with you, Kennedy. Your wide receiver room. Where are you guys at? Obviously, a lot of national pundits are saying this is the weakness of the Notre Dame offense. It's in the wide receiver room. Where are you guys at? Where are your confidence in the wide receiver room that if you have to throw the football, where's this team at?
Yeah, number one is shout out to my dad, always Irish Senior in the chat there, supporting both of us here. Thanks a lot, Pops. Good to have you. Good to have you in the show for these guys and supporting me. If Notre Dame's got to throw the ball a little bit to win here, we're screwed. It's not a strength of Notre Dame. It's not something we've been good at all year. The wide receiver room started out as a weak point of the team. It's been for many years. If Notre Dame's got to throw the ball to get back in a game or whatever, it's big trouble for Notre Dame. That is not our strength at all. It's not Riley Leonard's big strength. The wide receiver room alone has been a problem at Notre Dame for multiple years. For whatever reason, they can't get it right. I will say this, though. You could argue the best this passing game has looked has been in the playoff a little bit. We're not used to seeing Jaden Greathouse get open down the field for a 60-something yarder, even though the Penn State guy fell. That kind of big chunk play thing is a little rare for us. So that's not Notre Dame's game. If this ends up being a track meet, throwing it, quick scoring or whatever, Notre Dame's in big trouble. That is not how Notre Dame's going to want to play this game. Notre Dame wants to play the game Michigan played against you guys and find a way to force it to be a fist fight at the line of scrimmage. If it turns into a boat race, I think we're screwed. I have no problem saying that. That's not how we're built.
Brian NY, he is a fan of both of our shows, and I'll tell you why in a minute. He says, my championship was last week when these two teams won. I win either way. Just sucks that someone has to lose. Brian's got kids that go to both Notre Dame and Ohio State.
Ooh, that's a divided house, baby.
Wasn't that I remember a bowl game when Brady Quinn's sister, who is now AJ Hawk's wife, was wearing the half and half jersey. I imagine Brian might have to give her a call up and see if that's available.
Funny thing is, Brady Quinn doesn't remember that game. AJ lit him up.
Chris, you are hot to trot tonight, baby.
Yeah.
Man.
I told him John Kennedy's coming on, and he's just he's just going off, man.
By the way, Eric, good job on the thumbnail. That's a really good thing. I don't know. I couldn't even tell you what I was mad at, but I'm sure it deserved whatever I was mad at.
Well, I just envisioned you yelling at Chris. That's what I envisioned.
He was rewatching Northern Illinois.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I don't know what I was yelling about, but I'm sure that it was justified.
Zach Guggenheim from the Big Ten Football Talk is with us tonight. This is going to be the best OSU Notre Dame podcast out there. Like and subscribe, folks. Thanks, Zach, man. Appreciate that, brother. Yeah, so by the way, I do want to say thank you to all of your Notre Dame fans who are in the chat tonight as well, many of which had very nice things to say to me on your video that you posted today, John. Thank you for having me on the Always Irish and doing that interview. That was a lot of fun, and I appreciate all of the positive feedback, especially the comments for my niece, Graceland. That class act, guys, and just so you all know, we're all having fun tonight. We're all having fun tonight. This is what's great about college football, man. This is what is great about it. Two huge fan bases, right? And I don't know what kind of number do you think you're going to pull Monday night? It's got to be massive, right?
This is going to be the largest game ever watched.
You think
in
so?
college
You think
football.
we're going to break a
I think
record?
so.
Man, that would be awesome too. The fact that it would be two northern schools too and nothing down south, that would be awesome, man. But you're right. Look at your fan base, look at ours. Like this is going to be big time.
Yeah, I think so. I think ESPN is going to find out that their SEC narrative is. Do you think ESPN kind of gets off the whole SEC narrative and starts pushing a little bit more, realizing that, hey, we're not always going to have Bama and Georgia, and so maybe we.
Do you guys both agree? Chris, I want your opinion on this too. Do you guys both agree that those days of the SEC running everything and being the undisputed kings is over because of NIL and the portal and the talent is more spread out and the depth? I see a lot of that. I think those days of them just being the king of everything are gone, and it's going to be a harsh reality for them to accept. I genuinely think that.
I agree with you, John. I think 100%. I said that earlier in the season. I said, and then as the bowl season started as well, we have seen a shift in the power structure in college football. And you're right. It goes directly to the NIL. The fact that once everything went above board.
Yep. It's weird how once that happened, things started evening out.
Yeah, things started evening out when we weren't delivering brown paper bags to the recruits anymore.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah.
So all those SEC purchase championships, have kind of gone by the wayside now.
And all the people who say Ohio State has been playing NIL illegally for years. No, they haven't. I'm here to tell you, if Ohio State got caught one time, the NCAA would have nailed us to the wall, man. We got nailed for tattoos. Tattoos. The NCAA is getting tattoos right now. Like they're like, come on, man. No way. That is ridiculous. That is a ridiculous argument. That's like saying Notre Dame doesn't pray. Give me a break. Come on. Yeah. Maybe they didn't when Brian Kelly was there, but they sure are now, right, John?
Oh, they certainly didn't. He didn't think that was worth the time, so he X'd that out of the pregame schedule. So yeah, it was. That's Brian Kelly for you.
Go ahead, Chris.
I can't remember where I was going, Eric.
He's also the older one.
He's so mad at Lou Holtz, he can't even think straight.
That was a great impression of Lou Holtz, Chris. Good job.
Well, Lou Holtz. What is there to say about Lou Holtz?
I still like the guy, man.
Loser Holtz hasn't been relevant since the 80s. So,
dude, he's like, it's just so funny to me, man, that like this 88-year-old's getting under everybody's skin. It's so funny. Like, it's just, listen, man, you got to understand Lou Holtz holds a special place in our hearts. He's the last guy to win a championship at Notre Dame, man. That's a big deal. He's
among my top 5 most hated Ohioans.
I love this love that you all have for Lou Holtz, though. 574. Lou Holtz would whoop everyone in here. Listen, we all love our former coaches. I am the biggest Jim Tressel fan on the planet. And that's an interesting take. Let me give I know what? Let's go to this one. Big $20 holla. Did I do that right, John? $20 holla.
You're getting better.
Thank you. I'm trying, man. I'm trying. The OHIO podcast, please know we respect your program and are grateful for your class interaction with Always Irish. Also know that Holtz was on Woody's staff. That is absolutely 100% correct. And credits him for the most profound impact on his coaching, I'm going to say career there. That's true. That's absolutely
it's all well and good. But just like Marcus Freeman, he turned his back. He started talking smack.
He's just listen, do you know what I really think? I'm probably going to get in trouble for this. I think Lou Holtz, from that Woody Hayes vein of coaching, there's something about Ryan Day he doesn't like.
They think that's clear.
I don't care. There's something about Lou Holtz I don't like.
If you want my honest opinion, I think it pisses Lou Holtz off that Ryan Day has been 0-4 against Michigan the last 4 years. I really do.
That pisses me off too. That's the one thing we agree on.
There you go.
It is a little weird how he's putting himself out there. There's something there he really doesn't like. So I don't know the backstory of it, but Lou Holtz fighting. You guys got to remember that 88 game against Miami when we had the fight in the tunnel before the game, and Lou Holtz, all 5'4", 120 pounds, goes in the locker room before the game and says, "Leave Jimmy Johnson's ass for me." And the guys went nuts and went and won the game. And like that, so Lou Holtz fighting, you got to understand there's history there with that saying and motivating the guys. And that's where that's Lou.
Now, this I don't understand. Why is there so much disdain for Ryan Day outside of Columbus, Ohio, John?
Is there anything to the born on third base thing? Like, do you guys understand why people
Even if that's true, why are you disliking the man? What did he do to create so much disdain for people?
Okay,
John, go ahead.
As an outsider, let me try and answer this, right? You guys are so close to it. Let me see if what I would come up with. He's just kind of like an awkward guy communicatively. Like he's not the easiest guy to like, or there's something with his personality that I just feel like it's not that he's like a bad guy, but he's not the most easy guy to relate to or get on a level with. Like he just seems a little awkward, interpersonally, maybe. Like he doesn't rub me like a Kelly does or something, but it's there's just something with his personality that's a little quirky that maybe makes it hard to have a connection with him in some way. Does that make any sense?
Not really, because everything you said gets magnified more from Jim Harbaugh. You talk about terrible communicator.
Well, I mean, yeah, but that's in a different stratosphere. That dude is an alien from another planet, and I'm sure of it. I don't even think that guy's a human. I think he's half some alien.
Do you all realize that Ryan Day, if it wasn't for Ryan Day, Harry Miller would have killed himself? Harry Miller, a former Ohio State Buckeye, credits Ryan Day for saving his life. He was going to commit suicide. Ryan Day gives millions of dollars to Children's Hospital for mental health awareness for children all over the country. And he was the first one ever to say, we need to put money behind research for children and the suicide rate in our country. This guy allows his team openly, and you should respect this as a Notre Dame fan, to openly express their faith in Christ. He allows them to do that. I won't say that maybe he encourages it. He doesn't encourage it publicly. I don't know that he's allowed at a public university like Ohio State, but yeah. He doesn't throw a brick wall up with those kids. And at the same time, he doesn't go overboard with it like Dabo Swinney. There's so many things about Ryan Day that I think are likable. And the first thing everybody goes to is his beard, which is the cheapest, lamest thing to say why you don't like somebody, because of his beard. You want to talk about soft. Now that's a soft reason if you ever ask me.
But Eric, you know as well as I do, I am the most outspoken critic of Ryan Day as a coach.
Yeah.
But I think he is a hell of a human being. He is a good person.
Yeah, okay, but wait, listen, but you guys know how college football fans are. You think that people that hate Ohio State are gonna loosen up that opinion because Ryan Day donates to charity? That's just not reality. That ain't gonna be enough to make people that hate Ohio State.
So you're admitting that the reason why they hate Ryan Day is because they hate Ohio State.
I think that's a part of it, but I still think he's got a quirky personality that is just hard to connect to, and I'm an outsider. That's just what I see. So I don't know, but I'm not that close to him. I don't see everything he does and says. He just seems a little quirky, and the beard is weird, and it always bothers me. Get a stylist. Somebody do it right.
The beard is weird.
It bothers me. Somebody paint his beard all the way, the right way. That bothers me. So I don't know, man. But I just think anytime you want another group of fans that don't like Ohio State to give your guy credit, it's going to be a tough ask, even if he deserves it.
Look at this, John. Look who we have here.
It looks way better on this picture than it does in real life. Son of a buck!
There it is.
Look at this. It's never looked that good in real life. This is some AI drawing done the right way. It's never looked that good.
I so
Italian model or something in this one.
I so bad if Ryan Day wins the national championship, I want to see on Tuesday morning when you turn on the television, Just for Men, and there's Ryan Day doing a commercial. I think that would be the greatest thing of all time.
It would be a great troll job. It would be fantastic. Him just kicking back with the trophy and a cigar, something somebody's painting his beard.
Now,
man,
you just brought up great troll jobs.
Yeah.
Listen to this. Listen to this, Kennedy. I think you will respect this out of me. So, you brought it up on your show not that long ago that we had a politician here in the state of Ohio who wanted to make it a law that you couldn't plant a flag. And you guys all right. So I called this guy's office up and left him a message and asked him to please call me back. All right. I've been doing so. He never has. He's gutless. He won't even call me back to answer this. But I found out the dude, by the way, he's from Toledo, Ohio. That's his area. The dude's a Michigan fan. It's a troll job. It's not real.
Real? Man.
Yes. He's a Michigan man. And everybody keeps blaming Ohio State. We're all like, we didn't do nothing. It was a freaking Michigan fan.
I like that.
We have our own ways of dealing with people who plant flags.
Oh, man.
It's a troll job. It's like the greatest troll job of all time,
That's good. That's really good research by you digging into it. Good job.
He won't call me back. I've invited him on the podcast. I said, hey, my name's Eric Boggs. I run the OHL podcast. I would love to have you on, have you answer some questions to the Buckeye fans who are wondering why you did. Crickets. Nothing.
Gutless coward.
Then you do a little research and find out he's a Michigan fan.
Good job with the investigative journalism on this. You're a pro's pro, Eric. I like that.
Do you think anybody's talking about it in the media? No.
Oh,
no,
that's good.
Too busy doing other stuff.
That's good. Somebody in the chat's coming after me. What did they say? Get over yourself, Kennedy, or something like that. I don't know what. I'm having a good time. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm having a good time.
All for fun and charity right now, folks. All for fun and charity. Put your super chats in the chat. That way we can absolutely see it. I'm having a tough time keeping up with all.
Yeah, the chat's flying really fast tonight.
We got a problem to have. That's
109 people watching right now on YouTube. 30 on the old
John's in the house. I got my new grandfather here. Dr. John's in the house. Good to see you. My main man Martinez. There's a lot of my people here.
Yeah, it's probably I'm thinking close to 50-50, man. Let's see. What did you find? Ryan Day looks like he smells like deli meat. I don't know why that tickled you so funny. You're funny.
All I'm thinking back to is the guy who said you look like you drink hot dog water.
Oh yeah, that was a good one. That was a good one, John. They said it looked like I drink hot dog water, and I was like, well, maybe. Dr. John, here's your man. He said when a kid gives credit to Jesus for a win, he's saying Jesus decided other team wasn't worthy. Has Jesus been spotted at a sports book in Vegas? No, but there's people at the sports book in Vegas, Dr. John, who probably need to find Jesus. I'll say that. How about that?
That's a good one. You know what gets me, you guys, with the Jesus stuff?
Sure, hit me.
When these guys decide to transfer from a school, they all tweet, after discussions with the Lord or whatever, like it's God's plan or whatever. God's plan is never that you're going to come back to the school that you were already at. Like, it's only when people leave and they're all like, it's God's plan. And I want to be like, especially when you leave Notre Dame, I'm like, it's God's plan for you to leave God's school? How does that make sense?
Well, maybe they're going to that real Catholic university up in Boston.
Oh, Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy. Goodness sakes.
Chris, I'm telling you, man, you are on a roll, baby. You're on a roll. I'm not even mad. You're on a roll. Keep going.
Hey, you know the other one I don't like and I don't understand, John, about that same, because in that same tweet, they'll have respect my decision. Why? Why do I have to respect your decision? Who said I had to respect your decision? That is the dumbest thing of all time. Please respect my decision. Why?
No!
Go! I don't have to. Respect my team. Like, what are you talking about? It's so dumb.
You bailed on your commitment. Get the hell out. We're not going to respect anything.
Oh man.
Oh, we've got
Go Kyle McCord.
Oh, Blue Wolverine. He gifted 10 memberships. Wow. 10 memberships have been gifted by Blue Wolverine. Thank you, my man, for doing that. Appreciate that tonight, my man.
That is nice. That's
Yep.
nice. Blue
Hey,
Wolverine, way to deliver. That's
he's
good.
He's a real one, guys. He's a real one. He's a good dude. I respect him. All right.
You know, he's just hanging out here since his team's done for the year.
Well, hey, listen, do you all remember? Don't steal this, John, because you'll do this better than me. Do you all remember David Letterman's top 10?
Yes.
Yep.
I came up with a top 10. I'm working on it. I'm going to release it probably Saturday or Sunday. Top 10 things Michigan fans can do during the national championship. And number one, I should probably not tell you what number one is, but I'm going to tell you what number one is on my head.
You can't tell what number one is?
Oh, it's so good. It's so good.
They can watch the video when it comes out.
You guys will have to watch. And listen, you Notre Dame fans are going to want to watch it because number one, you will appreciate and you will respect and you will say, that's right.
Yeah, save it. I think you need to save that.
Okay. All right. I'll save it. It's good. You're all going to love it. All right, man. Listen, we're getting close. We're going to do about an hour and a half tonight. That's our plan. About 45 minutes in, we're going to take a commercial break. And here's what we're going to do tonight, guys. For the first time ever, we're going to open up the phone lines. It's a joint OHIO podcast, Always Irish call-in show. 45 minutes. You got to keep the phone line. You got to keep the calls short and sweet tonight. They've got to be real short and sweet tonight. And we're going to have fun with this. So this could get crazy, John. I mean, this could get
This chat's a lot of fun, Eric. I'm sorry.
This could get wild tonight, man. So if the calls are going to be anything like the chat, buckle up tonight. All right, John. For those who maybe didn't watch your and my preview that you did on your channel, by the way, if you haven't, please go over to the Always Irish channel and watch that video. John and I really dive into the weeds of this football game from not necessarily from an analytical side of things, but more from like a big picture side of things as the perspective of an Ohio State fan. And I feel it went well, John. I really do. I feel like that show went well. But that being said, I kind of want to take one of the same questions you asked me, and I kind of want to flip it on its head now and ask you tonight. So, Marcus Freeman, right? Great coordinators, by the way. I think your offensive coordinator, your defensive coordinator, you guys Marcus Freeman has leaned on them heavily and has really done something well here. Where is Marcus Freeman, in your opinion, as a head coach, coaching this game, big picture? Is this more Marcus Freeman, or is this more coordinators going on here?
Man, it's going to be such a cop-out to admit it's genuinely a blend, but in different ways, okay? If you're going to support a first-time head coach at a program like Notre Dame, only in not in his third year at Notre Dame, his third year overall, the proper way to support that man and get his foundation under him is with some experienced coordinators that he can lean on. So you got Mike Denbrock and you got Al Golden, older guys with a lot of experience, skins on the wall, have seen it all, been through it all. Very low egos. That's the other thing. These are not going to Notre Dame for a couple years, raise my profile, bounce for another job or whatever. These are old heads with experience. They want to do all the work and let Freeman shine. They have low egos. So those guys, no doubt, are doing a great job with their units. But what Marcus Freeman has done with this team is what no Notre Dame coach has been able to do in 30 years since Chris's arch enemy, Lou Holtz. And what that is getting a group of Notre Dame players to play better on the field in big games.
Thank you for calling Collins Studios host and call screener line. Please enter your show or meeting number and press pound.
Sorry, continue.
Dial it up. 7.
Enter your 6-digit PIN number.
7. Log it in.
You've got it memorized, don't you?
Yep.
Welcome, host. You are now in the host room and can manage your callers from the Collins Studio web interface.
Continue.
Beautiful. Yeah, I know. That is burned into my brain, that whole robo intro there. So what Freeman's done is been able to get these guys to perform their best on the biggest stage and the biggest game moments. And that is something that we have not had in 30 years. So whatever Freeman's selling these guys, message-wise, motivationally, whatever that looks like, these guys are buying in and it's working. I also think you got to credit the player leadership, obviously. So no doubt those coordinators deserve a lot of credit for getting their units, where they're at. Especially offensively. Freeman's a defensive guy, so you needed somebody you trusted on offense. But I'm telling you, Freeman's a motivator, and he's gotten these guys to outperform what it looks like they should do on paper. And I've been begging for that for 30 years. So whatever he's selling, they're buying.
Chris, one last question, man.
I'm still just trying to get over the fact that you're discussing Marcus Freeman.
Who, me?
Both of you.
Chris.
Because he's coaching in a national championship game, Chris.
Would it kill you to just say, hey, it's not the worst thing in the world that one of our former good players is a succeeding head coach?
He's
Would
trash.
That really hurt you that
He's
much?
trash.
This guy, listen, man. This guy has carried himself with more class and more dignity and more respect for Notre Dame and than we've seen in a long, long time.
For Notre Dame, yes, he has, John. But what did he do to his alma mater? What did he do to the people who gave him his opportunity? What did he do? He turned his back on him. He stabbed him in the back. He is a weasel. He is trash. That's all there is to it.
As somebody who's over dramatic for a living, I'm comfortable saying you're being over dramatic. And I do that for a living every single day. You don't mean that in your heart. You don't.
I absolutely do.
You do.
I cannot find one redeeming thing to say about the man.
You don't mean that. I know
absolutely
you don't mean that. You don't. The irony. There's just the irony in a landscape and a sport full of snakes that will do anything to win and lie and cheat and deceive and break the rules and do all this stuff. Here comes Freeman, a family man with good values, good husband, converts to Catholicism, always takes the high road, classy guy, and you're finding a way to be negative about it.
I've got more respect for Jim Harbaugh because Freeman should know better.
Oh, Lord have mercy. We're off the rails. We're going to take a quick commercial break. We come back. Phone line.
I don't think you mean it.
He doesn't.
You don't mean it deep down. You're just doing this because you're all worked up. You don't mean it.
I cannot stand the person as a human being.
You like the guy.
I really don't.
Hang tight, everybody. We'll be right back.
You like him.
The OHIO podcast is brought to you by Mastermind. Mastermind specializes in 360-degree, high-definition mobile video mapping, GIS integration, and traffic safety studies. Mastermind cares about traffic safety and keeping you safe on the roadway. Visit Mastermind at onlinemastermind.com.
All right, guys, here's the deal, man. Phone lines are loaded. If you call in and it's busy, as soon as someone drops off, you can call in. We got to make them quick, though. John is a hard out at 9:30, guys. 9:30, the show will end, so we need to get as many as we possibly can. Make them short or sweet. Say what you got to say. We'll respond to it and have fun going that way, and then we'll go to the next call. So when you call in, let us know who you are, where you're calling from, what team you're repping. And give us your point. Here we go. 330. What's up? What's up?
Tyler, you're Reg.
Tyler, what's up, dude? Make it fast, man. What you got, brother?
So I just got one question for Kennedy.
Go for it.
So, what would you do if you guys put 10 men on the field again in the last second and we score a touchdown and we win the game in the national championship?
I would like to think we will ensure that will never happen again after that very public embarrassment. If it did happen again, the post-game show would be quite electric. Let's just leave it at that for all the wrong reasons. But you guys do need to understand that was a big black eye for the program and for Freeman, and a big learning moment. Everybody was embarrassed. Everybody was humiliated. We still wear that. It was a low point. And all the jokes about it were fair. Marcus 10-man, this smart Notre Dame people can't add to 11. It was all fair. We had to eat it, and it still hurts. I'll tell you guys this. I left the Bush Push game in 05 driving home thinking, no way Notre Dame could end a game could hurt me more than Bush Push. And it took 18 years, and that beat it because you didn't even really give yourself a chance. And it was a big black eye, man. It was embarrassing. There's no way around it. But I think they go to the extra mile to make sure there's somebody in charge of counting now.
All right, man. Hey, thanks for calling in, Tyler. Appreciate you, brother.
The good news, Tyler, is it won't matter
I'm
because
maturing, Eric. Look at how calmly I answered that. I am maturing.
I know. OH, Tyler.
the good news, John, is that touchdown won't matter anyhow because we're going to be up 41-14.
All right, we're going to keep it rolling. We're going to keep it going here.
Yikes.
260. How's it going?
Eric.
Hey.
Eric.
What's happening?
Hey, Eric.
Yes.
Ray.
Hey, Ray.
Hey.
Ray's our Dr. John. Go for
we
it,
were
Ray.
very, very fortunate to win that Texas game. I'm going to tell you right now, when it was 14-all, that guy they had 2 first downs, and the guy overthrew that guy by inches. He catches that ball, we might have lost that game. We're going to have to cut down on them penalties, and we got to get JR involved. We can't have another game, one catch, 4 yards. That's the same way that happened against Michigan. This game was a lot like Michigan all over again. You couldn't move the ball at all. You had 2 touchdown drives. The other one was a 75-yard screen pass, which you never did in another screen. And then Ryan Day, 9.5 yards, and he set up a sneak. He tries to run the ball outside. Thank God for Texas doing the same thing for us.
Yeah, thank God indeed. Ray, what do you think about this game, brother? Who you got?
I'm telling you, I'm nervous because they're leading the nation in turnovers. If we don't turn the ball over, I think we win. But I just don't know if we can have another game. We only had the 1 interception, but we got to eliminate those turnovers and penalties if we're going to move the ball on them.
So, are you willing to say that the team who has less penalties and less turnovers is going to win this game, or do you think that Ohio State can overcome that if they were?
I don't know, man. You got to give Notre Dame credit. They lost to Northern Illinois, and they've won, 13 straight?
Yeah.
So you can't take them lightly. They beat some good teams, and you can say all you want to with Penn State. They only won by, 8, 9 points? But we only won by 4 or 5, didn't we?
What was the score of that game, Chris? It should have been more if we wouldn't have.
Yeah.
We kind of stubbed our toe a little bit, but yeah,
you're 14-10, wasn't it?
It was a close game. You're right, Dr. I called you Dr.
It was. I'll tell you exactly.
You're right, Ray. Ray's Dr. John.
But we ran the clock out with 4 straight first downs. I give the offensive line credit.
20-13
when they were down on the goal line.
Yep. What was the score, Chris?
20-13.
It's at Penn State too. Okay, they're the home team. I mean, this game with Notre Dame and Penn State was more or less a neutral field. What's it look like attendance-wise? We going to have more Ohio State fans than Notre Dame, or what?
My guess is 50-50. That's going to be my guess. John, do you have any pulse on that? You guys had an extra day to kind of grab them up.
Yeah, I think it's going to be pretty well split. I know a lot of Notre Dame people going, but that's a small sample size, only my people. I think it'd be pretty close. You know, it's not like this location is right in somebody's immediate backyard.
Yeah. Anything else,
We better
Ray?
be careful of that quarterback too. He can run the ball.
Yeah, he
and
can.
throw it. So they're
What
going to have to be careful with this guy. They can't let him shoot gaps and get big runs.
Yep, you're absolutely right, Ray. Ray, we got to keep her moving, man. We got a special guest on tonight. Thanks for calling in, brother.
Okay. Hey, God bless you. OH.
IO.
I like this, Ray. Ray's a
Now,
ball
listen.
knower.
Ray runs a mile backwards every day, John.
Yeah, Ray is in his 70s and he runs a mile backwards every day. Now listen to this. This is crazy.
What do you
Ray
mean backwards?
He runs a mile backwards every day.
You're gonna run into a truck one of these days. What do you mean backwards?
He's a machine. Listen. Listen, Ray. Stop it. You're making me laugh. Ray used to be an usher for Michigan.
Yeah, you told me about him.
Yeah.
You said, hey, John, I think we found our Dr. John.
It's him. Yes.
Yeah.
He used to be an usher at the big house. They kicked him out for handing out tracts. He was handing out gospel tracts. They kicked him out, and he said, "You know what? Since you won't let me back in, I'm just going to go be an Ohio State fan."
Dude, I like that guy, man.
Yeah.
I like Ray. Ray. Keep him around.
He's the man. All right, here we go. We're going to keep her moving. 606, you're on.
It's the Lunatic Fringe.
What's up, Lunatic?
How are you?
Doing good. What you got, brother?
Well, I've seen a lot of talk about Ohio State being overconfident.
Yes.
Our fans are overconfident. We are. But they're focused. They are laser focused, as I think Lacey said earlier in the chat. It's something that has been the goal since last year, since we lost to Michigan last year. And it's been a goal since then. And that's what we're here to achieve now. So what do you feel about that? And I'll hang up and let you talk to the next person.
All right. Thank you, brother. Appreciate you calling in. OH.
Hello.
I love the fact that this team, Chris, Ohio State we're talking about, has a little bit of a chip on their shoulder, whether that being from the fact that they didn't win against the team up north, the flag planting, whatever you want to use. Since that moment when they stepped on the field, when Tennessee came into the horseshoe, this has been a different football team. And I cannot imagine this football team walking off of Mercedes-Benz Field, suffering a loss to Notre Dame and achieving none of their goals they set out to achieve when this was the most highly ranked recruiting class in the history of Ohio State. No other class had this many quote-unquote stars, and I know that that's overrated. I get it. But these guys have achieved nothing they set out to achieve. And the biggest thing of all for them to achieve is a national championship. And Monday night, they have that opportunity. And the only thing standing in their way is John Kennedy's Irish. I like my chances.
Well, you know where I'm coming from.
Yes, we know where you're coming from.
100%. 100%. I think it's 41-14.
Woo!
Listen.
I think that Notre Dame is they have made a great run. Don't get me wrong. And again, I respect the program. I respect the tradition. I think that Marcus Freeman as a coach and this team right now, based on the accomplishments they've made, is still overrated.
I mean, and
it's an opinion. I know everybody's got them. They're like,
that's fine. It's just unlike most years where here's the difference, Chris. Unlike most years where Notre Dame has a lighter schedule and USC's down or whatever, and they make it to the 4-team playoff, or Kelly making it to the BCS, and then Notre Dame gets destroyed. And it was maybe fair to go, hey, I don't think Notre Dame belonged, something like that. I don't understand how people take that route this year. As Notre Dame, this playoff run means nothing to anybody. 13 wins in a row means nothing to anybody. 9 in a row by double digits mean nothing to anybody. Seeing them beat the mighty SEC champs means nothing. You guys brag about how tough the Big Ten is. Well, Indiana wasn't that tough. You took care of Penn State. Like, you're not valuing any of that.
Well,
They're
first
just
of all,
overrated. Doesn't matter.
the Big Ten is tough, evidenced by the fact that we have 2 teams in the championship, whether you want to admit it or not. So, secondly, you look at this schedule, and yes, Georgia ranked number 2. Let's face it, they shouldn't have been. They were without their starting quarterback. They were.
But
not
what do you
great.
want Notre Dame to do about that? Make Florida
That's what I
State
said at
not
the beginning,
suck?
John. There's
You want
nothing
me to-
they can do about that.
Do you want me to make Florida State better at football? Do you want me to make USC better at football?
God, I wish somebody would.
I thought A&M was going to be a big, tough game, and then they fell off later in the year. I don't know. It's not my problem. All those teams had down years. And you know what else, Chris? You know who else was supposed to be on this schedule that backed out on us? Miami backed out on us, and we had to go get Army to fill their spot. We were supposed to play Miami too, but it isn't our fault. All those teams are not good.
I never said it was your fault. All I'm saying is I can't give credence to that schedule per se. You look at that schedule. Yes, they beat the service academies. They were ranked at the bottom half of the rankings. They were ranked. But we know what it is. We know how the service academies are.
Man,
Texas A&M.
Is it possible that you guys have an overinflated sense of how tough the Big Ten really is? Are you open to that at all? Or are you going to tell me it's murderer's row?
What I'm looking at is an Ohio State team that is about to play their 7th top 10 team, 6 top 5 teams this year.
Yeah. The Pat. What schedule did OSU have? Did you just hear that? Ohio State will break the all-time record for winning against the most top 10 teams ever in college football if we beat we beat your Irish. That's the schedule Ohio State has had to play. And whether you think that is conflated or not because of your view on the Big Ten or not, that's the facts. Bobby Mack with a $5 super chat. Do you think Notre Dame is really brave enough to play man coverage against us? Question. If so, will the alternate spread jump to 20 plus? No, the spread won't jump to that, but he's saying will we win by 20 or more if Notre Dame is going to play us man to man. Listen, Notre Dame is not changing what they do for this game.
Notre Dame, listen, we went over this on my show, Eric. Yeah. Howard has faced man coverage 19% of drop back passes this season. Notre Dame is going to play man a lot. It's not going to be all the time. They're going to mix it up, but it's going to be significantly more than what he's used to playing. It'll be incumbent on Al Golden to figure out how to do what he needs to do to control Smith or bracket him or do whatever you're going to do. Notre Dame trusts their secondary. It's one of, if not the best parts of the team. And Notre Dame's going to have to roll the dice a little bit and put guys on an island. And they're either going to get burned by it or they're going to make some plays off it. But don't expect Notre Dame to not trust what's been the best part of their team for most of the year. And if your guys make plays, they make plays. But you're going to see way more man than what he's used to seeing. And from the Notre Dame end, you're hoping that gives your quarterback some problems. But you're going to see a lot more man than what he's used to because a lot of those lower level Big Ten teams don't have the athletes to do man, and they want to keep everything in front of them and give a big zone cushion.
Agreed.
And then Howard gets it to your boys, and they're athletic deer, and then they're off. So Notre Dame is going to live and die by that way more than what Howard's used to. And we're going to see what happens.
All right, here we go. Next one up. Got to keep her moving. 419, welcome
Eric.
to the Show Podcast. What's up?
It's Sean Schrock.
What's up, Sean? What you got, brother?
Hey, I'm just going to tell you, it's going to be just like when Notre Dame played Alabama in the national championship game.
Ooh.
It's not going to be much of a contest.
Ooh.
Notre Dame, Ohio State's going to make Notre Dame one-dimensional.
They're not going to be able to run the ball on us. They're going to make Riley throw the ball, and we all know he's a bad passer. So that's going to be the end of them.
I do believe, Sean,
I
that
think-
that will be our defensive game plan, is to make Riley Leonard beat us with his arm. Now, I will remind everybody, we did this 2 years ago. We did this very thing 2 years ago where we all said we were going to make Michigan one-dimensional. We were going to make J.J. McCarthy beat us with his arm, and he did. And we did not make the adjustment in the game to stop Michigan from throwing the football back in 2022. So I keep that in mind. I agree. I think we try to force Notre Dame to throw the football, and we all didn't think J.J. McCarthy could, and then he ended up beating us in 2002 that same way. So I agree with you, Sean, but just keep that in mind.
Yeah, listen,
I think their defense is going to be worn out. Sorry, John. My bad.
That's okay. Yeah, like a big question for Notre Dame is, how are you going to sustain drives against this athletic Ohio State defense? That's a real thing, a real concern. If Notre Dame can't get anything going in the running game with either Love or Price and Riley Leonard mixing things up, if Notre Dame can't sustain drives with a stable run game, they're in big trouble. Like, none of us are denying that. Like, Notre Dame is not built to have to throw it around and win that way. If Notre Dame can't get anything going in the run game, especially on early downs, Notre Dame's going to have trouble scoring points. Like, that is a reality and a legitimate concern of ours. And it all starts with the run game for Notre Dame, with the threat of Riley Leonard doing that. And then also, if you could get, Love and Price going, if Notre Dame's got to throw around a lot to win this game, we're in trouble. And that's a fact.
Now, are you worried about your defense being worn down because you won't be able to sustain drives?
I'm worried about the defense just because they're worn so thin with injuries. I mean, you're down like 4 or 5 guys in the 2 deep along that defensive front. Benjamin Morrison, who used to be the best corner, is out, and guys have picked up the slack. It is a concern. If Notre Dame's defense is out there nonstop, that's an issue because we are already very, very thin defensively, especially up front. That will be an issue. Notre Dame's offense has got to find a way to sustain some drives and keep the ball here and keep those guys fresh. It's a legitimate concern.
Blue Wolverine.
How do you feel about your offensive line with the injuries that you've had? How do you feel about the backups?
They're coming along. That offensive line was iffy earlier in the year, and then it's gotten a little more stable as the year's gone on and guys are able to gel. Charles Jagasaw tore his pec in August. He's been out all year recuperating. He may be back for this game. In fact, I think he is back for this game, and that helps. So they're doing a good job, but again, they have had guys in and out of the lineup all year with injury.
I just want to say, I give you much respect, John. I love your show, even though you're an Irish guy, but much respect to you guys. So I predict 41-7, Ohio State. I think your injuries are going to catch up to you this game and not going to be able to hang.
It's always good to go, hey, I respect you guys so much. Final score, 100-3.
we saved the triple digits for when we get that team up back.
I respect you. I respect you guys so much. Final score, 78-0. Listen.
Hey, I just want to give a quick shout to the chat. A couple of your Irish guys were giving me crap about how much money we spent when they need to realize that you guys spent more money on the roster than we did. So Oregon did too, and so did Texas. But all you hear is Ohio State spent $20 million on their roster and tried to buy a natty. So
you know why I think
I'll point that out there.
I think that's the narrative because I've seen so many Ohio State people talking about it. Like, I really think that's a part of it. On Twitter, they're all going, we're getting serious about football now. Look at what we're willing to do. Like, that's why I thought that became a bigger narrative because you guys were talking about being serious about it this year. So you guys made it a point of emphasis.
John, can I tell you why I think it was such an issue?
Why?
Honestly, because it was the
because
best offensive.
Sunday.
Freeman did
It was
something.
the best offensive player in the SEC and the best defensive player in the SEC that defected to Ohio State.
That's a good point. That's a good point, Chris. Yeah, that's a good point.
Thanks for calling in, Sean. Appreciate you, brother.
Yeah.
Have a good
Thanks,
one.
guys.
OH.
Chris,
IO.
I'm glad you guys can all make sure each other can spell a 4-letter word. Chris,
Yes.
how happy are you Saban retired? I don't think Downs is coming if that guy's still there. That's a big benefit.
Let me tell you, it was the best thing to ever happen.
Oh, I
V.
see what you did there. Wow.
Another 10 memberships donated by Blue Wolverine. Thank you, my man. Appreciate that. All right, let's move. Let's keep her moving, man. Every time one drops off, another one jumps on, and we've got looks like we got about 20 plus minutes here with Kennedy. 630. Welcome to the OHIO podcast.
Yo, what's up, Eric and Chris and even John? This is Burks, man. How you guys doing?
What's up, Burks? We've got a Wolverine in the house.
Now,
what you got, man?
Are you a neutral arbiter here or what, Burks?
No, I'm actually. I want to actually give my prediction of why Notre Dame's going to win this game because
you're insane.
All right. No, I'm being honest, bro. Chris, Eric, you know how honest I am as a Michigan fan, right? I say the truth, man. I'm like the most honest guy. Listen, let me tell you why Notre Dame's going to win, all right? Let me tell you. First of all, you guys, your fan base has been so bloody arrogant. After beating Tennessee, first of all, your fan base has been arrogant. Now I'm noticing, like, your team was not arrogant, right? But now the arrogance is building up on the team. Let me tell you why. You guys killed Tennessee. You guys crushed Oregon, right? Texas, now, that's when I'm noticing that, your first 3 quarters was not the best. Then Texas, starts just, like, blew the game at the end. He self-destructed, right? This Notre Dame team, like what John is saying, they just can't lose, man. And their defense is giving me Michigan vibes, man. All right? Some Michigan vibes. I'm seeing Notre Dame and Michigan, like what my boy Sean Schrock said, they're like twins. They're like literally like cousins. I know Notre Dame fans don't want to hear it than Michigan fans, but they literally play so similar. This Notre Dame D is giving me some Michigan D. And Marcus Freeman probably called, right? He probably called Link about the game, I bet you, right? And they're going to play the similar game plan, man. Their defense is going to play hard-knock football, man. The D-line is going to cause Will Howard, man, to run and scramble. It's going to be a really close game. And I got Jeter, man, making a game-winning field goal, man. All right? Riley Leonard going to use his legs. I understand, man. But it's going to be a lot like the Michigan game that you guys lost to. Do you guys agree with that? Kennedy, do you agree with that, my man?
I mean, I'm not betting against Notre Dame now. I got Notre Dame in a close one, keeping the scoring under the 30s. I refuse. I cannot pick against Notre Dame after what they've done in such catastrophic injury situations on this run. I am not picking against them now, and I'll say this. The only game I missed on my picks for Sports Illustrated was the Northern Illinois game. Obviously, everyone in America missed that one. I will proudly go down with this ship. If you guys beat Notre Dame, I would proudly Titanic this one, stand on the helm, and go down with this team for the way they fought and overcome all these injuries to get to the final game. I will proudly go down with that ship. I'm picking Notre Dame in a close one. Draw it up however you want. A couple turnovers, a blocked kick, a special teams play, whatever it is. I will go down with this ship, and if I'm wrong, I'm wrong, but they have earned this pick from me. Notre Dame in a close one, keeping the scoring down. If the score gets much above 30, Notre Dame's not going to probably win. I think Notre Dame's got to keep your scoring down. Any sort of boat race, we're in big trouble.
Can I answer this one up here real quick, Eric?
Yeah, hold on. I'll let you address this right after we're done with Burks. Burks, the reason why I think you're wrong about your comparison between your team and Notre Dame is the defensive line.
Yep.
Big difference.
2 All-Americans at defensive tackle for Notre Dame.
Yeah.
Or, I'm sorry, for Michigan.
Big difference there. Burks, I appreciate you calling in, man.
Dude, Ryan Day's Ryan Day's beard says,
all right,
you cannot get on Rose's piece of wood, John.
So, They want to know what I'm going to do if.
Hold on 1 second, Chris. Burks, thanks for calling in, brother. I'll let you go, man. Have a good one. Enjoy.
Yeah, man. Now, hey, last thing I just want to say really quick.
Sure.
John, you better. Notre Dame better win, man, because we taught you guys football for one thing. That is to beat Ohio State. You guys better than beat Ohio State. Goodbye.
Bye,
Burks is fired up.
I'm going to send Burks a Notre Dame shirt or something. I love it. Let's go.
Burks, I've never seen him so angry.
He's a closet Irish fan because
apparently Burks
sucks and didn't
apparently Burks is all of a sudden a Notre Dame fan.
Dude,
wow.
Okay, wait. Now before we get to the next call, here's what I want to say. If you guys, Chris especially, if you said, I respect what Notre Dame's done, tough team fighting through, whatever, and I think they're going to fight their hearts out. But if you just said, I think Ohio State just has too much top-line talent and they're healthier and they're rolling, and I just think late in the game they're going to pull away, I would say I think that's perfect realistic scenario for this one. But all these predictions of 41-7, 42-14, seeing no difference between this Notre Dame team and the one Kelly brought to play Alabama in 2012, that's where you lose me. If you said Notre Dame's going to play us tough, but there are too many injuries and we have too many good players, we're going to pull away by 10 in the fourth quarter, I would say I could see that. I'm a little surprised you guys are going in on 42-17, 42-7, 41-3. I'm a little surprised you're going that way. That is blatant disrespect to Notre Dame.
Let me tell you why. And a big part of it, John, and it's simply because what you said earlier. Notre Dame's going to play man-to-man. No one in the country can cover J.J. Smith man-to-man. No one. And I'm going to include guys in the NFL in that. J.J. Smith is not just the best wide receiver in football. He is the best player in all of college football as a freshman.
Hey, that is Notre Dame's probably best overall unit other than the running backs, you could argue. And Notre Dame is they're going to have to take some chances out there, Chris. And it could burn us or it could work out. But, they're going to take some chances. But why are you acting like you guys didn't light up the scoreboard against Texas, up and down the field? So why would you be confused that Notre Dame could play you guys tight?
Well, you're sitting here telling me they're going to go one-on-one with JJ, where Texas actually bracketed him.
That's not what I said. I just said they're going to play a lot more man than the 19% he's used to throwing against. And Al Golden's going to have to scheme up some things to account for these things. But I'm just a little surprised that it's not even a respectable score that I'm seeing. I'm a little surprised.
And I get that. Going back to the first question a little bit back, what would I do if Notre Dame won? It's very simple. I would go back to calling for Ryan Day's head because the only way Ohio State loses this game is if they beat themselves. They are too talented to lose this game.
Man, you're putting yourself out on an island, so we'll see. I mean, you really are. I mean, there's a difference between belief in your team crossing the line into disrespect in the other. I'm a little surprised that you're not giving Notre Dame a lick of respect here. I genuinely am. But then again, you're the only guy in America that's found a way to hate Marcus Freeman, who everybody loves. Even people that hate Notre Dame love the guy.
All right, keep it moving. 385. You're on the OHL podcast.
Yeah, Johnny, what up, man? Hey, Eric. Right on, brother. Way to let in an Irish fan, man.
Yeah, you're welcome, man. Okay. What you got, brother?
Yeah, hey, man. And look, hey, the other dude, man, I don't mean to disrespect, man, but Marcus Freeman is a good dude, man. What first team? Me, I coached. I lived rough. Ohio knows he listens to Johnny's team. Okay? There's nothing better, man, for a program to have than a coach that doesn't just want better athletes, but better men. Because the way the world is, we need better men, right? Okay. So that's why. So my apologies. I didn't mean to come off a little hard, man, but I got to defend the man who's got his back to glory. Second, I know, I don't dislike the Big Ten the way I do the SEC. I don't dislike UCLA or USC or Michigan the way I completely hate the SEC and Alabama self-proclaimed half of their 17 titles. And ask any college football historian, if we were self-proclaimed, we'd have 23. That's the truth. Okay, third. Only other thing I want to ask you guys from the Big Ten. Who have you guys played other than Michigan in the last 20 years? Even that, because remember, Michigan lost to Appalachian State that set their program back 20 years. Who have you guys played? Your conference only had 2 good teams, maybe 3, just like the SEC. Michigan State was one of them until they lost the Italian coach. Because you always know it was going to be you guys in Iowa. Like, for real, you guys talk about our schedule, but didn't you guys play Purdue? Didn't you guys play Indiana? We did. I mean, hello?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. The bottom half of that schedule.
Yeah, brother. I mean, I don't mean to come off hard, but if I'm on your fan, hey, Ohio, for all you Ohio State fans, man, that have been cool, calm, collected, class act, homie, I have your back solid, man, solid in a dark alley. But I'm asking you, who have you guys played in the last 10, 20 years? You always knew that it was going to be when people said the playoff, the first 14 playoff for the first 14 format was it's going to be 2 SEC teams, an at-large and Ohio State all the time.
If you're talking,
so that's my question to all you Ohio State fans that are knocking us and this and that we don't play nobody. We play half of you guys' conference each year. And it was always like that until we got into ACC.
You maybe play.
So, I mean, what argument do you guys have other than AJ Hawk from 20 years ago?
I'm not sure how the age.
That's my question to you two guys.
I'm not sure how AJ Hawk reflects the schedule, but if you're talking about, are you talking about overall, or are you talking about just the Big Ten?
No, I'm talking about you guys overall. Yeah, because until Oregon and USC came in.
So if you're talking overall,
the division was trash.
If you're talking,
Iowa was going to be in it against you guys every year.
Well, first off, it was that was in divisions. We're no longer in divisions, but if that was in divisions, the West was always weak. No matter it didn't matter who was coming out of the West. They were losing to whoever won the East.
Yeah,
the East
Ohio State.
The East was 3 teams. It was Ohio State, Penn State, and Michigan. That's the way it was. But if you're asking me, like, if you're going to take the Big Ten and say the Big Ten is a weaker conference or is a weak conference, what conference was better than the Big Ten outside of the SEC for 20 years? And if that's the case, the SEC was only better than by.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
If you're saying the Big Ten was weak, I can listen to your argument if you say the SEC was better, but who's better, the ACC?
No,
the Big 12.
No. I never told you that the SEC is better. The SEC has been weak since they raised college football. Like I tell Johnny, they play 2 junior high teams a year, which equals up to a quarter of a win. They do it right before rivalry week to rest their starters. They did that. They've been weak. In the 90s, they couldn't compete against Nebraska and the Big 12 and the Big 10. In the early 2000s, like I told people, maybe Florida. Okay, but I mean, up until 15 years ago when they found out how to rig it, added the 13th game and everything. No, I've never told you that. The one conference that was better or not equal to you guys before these expansions was the Pac-12. Because up until you guys went 12-man, which you guys did, and then they went 12-man, it was the only conference that played every team every year. Remember, there's years where the SEC commissioner wouldn't schedule LSU and Georgia. How do you have 3 10-win teams in a conference? It's mathematically impossible. So no, I never said the SEC was better. The Pac was better than you guys.
Okay.
And why? The Pac was when they were the Pac-10, and you guys were the Big 10 before you guys went to 11 teams.
The argument I will make against.
So no, I don't.
The argument I will make against the Pac-12 is the Pac-12 didn't play any defense though, and that was shown out when you would get to bowl season.
Big 12 was the same way.
Yeah. Both season, they didn't do the best. I totally agree with you. What I'm saying though is, we're like that. That's all I'm saying is, our schedule. Who do we play? We play half of you guys' teams. You know, you guys play the same teams we do. Well, that's all I'm saying to you. Teams. But go ahead.
I'm gonna push. I'm not really gonna push back on your argument because John, I think clearly stated the Notre Dame stance on this and made it perfectly clear. You can only beat the teams who are on your schedule, and it's not your fault when there are certain teams on your schedule who don't live up to those expectations, i.e. USC, i.e. Florida State, for instance. And the Big Ten is no different. Like, for instance, look at the schedule this year. We had to play Indiana. Indiana's only tough game on their schedule, literally, until they played you guys, was us.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's sometimes it's just a matter of, I guess, the schedule makers or however the schedule plays itself out. And so that's why you've never heard me personally make the argument about who they've played. I have from the beginning of this conversation for the last couple weeks, I said Notre Dame was the second best team in this playoff because I watched them not only beat every single team for however many weeks straight, 10 weeks straight, but they did so impressively and they did so physically. And so just because some fans might inflate it doesn't mean it's reality. Just because some fans say it doesn't mean it's truth. And the same can be said, I guess, looking at it from the other perspective. When you look at the Big Ten Conference, the Big Ten Conference is a weak conference. No, it's not. I promise you it's not. When you get in there and you play the physicality of the conference week in and week out, you find out that even those mid-level Big Ten teams are incredibly physical. Notre Dame would know this. They're a Midwest school. So, for instance...
No, and I don't disagree with you because that style of football has to be played there because of you guys' weather. I don't disagree. Like, Michigan State has always had great D linemen. When I seen Oregon, kind of moving around beginning of the season, I was like, damn. But no, I don't disagree with you, Eric, on that. I believe you guys play good, old, hard, smash mouth football.
I'll give you the perfect example of this, Pat. I think Pat is disagreeing with me on the conference take. Ask Washington, ask USC, and ask UCLA. They'll tell you it's different. It absolutely is different.
No, and I don't disagree with you with that, man. Like I said, those teams have always played smash mouth football. Real quick, man, I'm gonna get out. I'm gonna let your other callers in. Hey, man, big respect to you, man, and your sidekick, man. Respect to him too, man. But he's gonna be the way he is, and that's fine, man. But also, I just wanted to say, man, you guys do have a good team. I'm not knocking that. We're in for a dogfight, man. And I know no one's giving us a friend in the world, man, but I'm never gonna bet. I don't bet on or against my Irish, man, ever, man. But I'm looking forward to a good game. I'm gonna say 21-17 us. You guys, man. Good luck to you guys and class act, Eric, man, and onward Notre Dame, baby.
I appreciate you calling in, buddy. Have a good one. Enjoy the game.
All right, brother. Thank you.
Yep.
You're a skate, man. You're a stud, man.
All right, later on, man.
Thanks, buddy. See you, Johnny. I'll talk to you later.
I'll see you probably on the morning show.
That reminds me, you do have the morning show tomorrow, don't you?
Oh, yeah, baby. Normal Friday time.
All right, Mark with glasses in the house. Mark, I love Mark with glasses. Mark, John Kennedy referenced going down with the Titanic. I need a John Kennedy, Marcus Freeman Titanic video, please. Make it make it happen for this fat Buckeye, okay? do do do. I can just hear the music.
There I go, just like Leonardo, all the way to the bottom, baby.
All right, Pat.
And just like the girl, she'll just Marcus will take the door and float away and leave you down to drown.
All right, Pat is on the line. I know, John, you got to go here soon. Pat is on the line. This ought to be good.
Oh, I got some time for this.
Let me bring Pat in. All right, Pat. Welcome in, big dog.
Of course you got time for this, Johnny. What else you gonna do?
Yeah, I know.
There's okay. So I was saying in the chat, and I don't mean this as like a dig at the Big Ten, but I just look at college football overall. It's down this year. There is parity. The SEC is not what it was. The SEC is not dominating everyone and running away with it. And I personally, growing up in the Midwest and, living in Illinois where everyone's either a Northwestern or an Illinois fan, or an Indiana fan or a Purdue fan. I mean, what do we have to show for those schools? I know a lot of people from Wisconsin. I mean, I have no respect for Michigan and anything that comes out of Michigan. So I don't see college football itself being what it was, where the cream came to the top because of NIL and the transfer portal. Like, look at how many kids have left Georgia since Notre Dame beat them. I mean, there is parity sweeping college football because of the transfer portal and NIL. And so maybe a couple years ago, I would have said, yeah, sure, maybe the Big Ten is the best conference in the country. But I think it's just watered down football everywhere. And when we talk about the number of games against, top 10 teams and winning that, we're talking about, you lost to Oregon, you barely beat Penn State, and you beat Indiana, and then Notre Dame beats Indiana. Notre Dame beats Penn State. Notre Dame beats SEC, who beat Tennessee and beat Texas twice. Like, it's there's the schedules compare as far as I'm concerned. But at the end of the day, schedules don't mean anything to me because I think they're completely worthless. What do you get to know out of a schedule when everyone just beats each other? When the SEC beats each other up, and the Big Ten, they just beat each other up, what do you learn from that? I think the only program in the country that gives you any sort of metric is Notre Dame, because they play SEC teams, they play Big Ten teams, they play ACC teams, they play everybody, they play teams from different conferences. So it's the only school that can actually give you any sort of metric.
Chris, you want to respond?
I'll stop there.
Well, I just look at the ranked teams they've played. That's the big thing for me. I look at the ranked teams they've played, and really, outside of Georgia, who was without a quarterback, they had their second string quarterback in there.
Let's start with that. You know what? Oh God, we covered this on John's show. We knew what we were going to hear about Georgia and the quarterback going into the game. We heard that Kirby Smart doesn't lose when he's got 10 days or more to prepare, so don't worry about it. We heard that this guy is actually better because Carson Beck, he throws he throws over the middle a lot, throws interceptions, gives stuff away. I'm so tired with that argument. It's supposed to be the SEC. They beat Texas twice, and that kid came in hurt, or that kid came in when Georgia was losing to Texas, and he came back to beat Texas.
Let me just ask you. Riley Leonard goes down. Riley Leonard goes down. You go to your number 2. Is your offense as effective?
I wanted Angeli to stay in the game during the Penn State. He came in there and took them right down the field so they could score. They could kick that field goal and make that a 1-score game. If he doesn't come in and ball out the way he did, Notre Dame doesn't win that game.
95%
so yeah, I have
the
complete confidence in Peter Butter and Angeli.
95% of the teams in the country are going to tell you when you move from your first string to your second string, you're going to have a lot of little things. Maybe not the athleticism be as different, but you look at the timing, you look at the cadences, you look at all the little intricate parts of being a quarterback. There's going to be a drop off as you go from 1 to 2. And I would be the first to say, no matter
that's
what
expected,
team it
but
is,
then when you have 2 weeks to prepare for it, that's not a valid excuse.
I actually agree. I agree with you, because if you go back to Ohio State's last national championship win, we did it with our third string quarterback.
Yeah, you did it with your third string quarterback, and it turned him into a draft pick.
That's absolutely true, and you're right. But the fact is, all I'm saying is you drop from 1 to 2, there's going to be a fall off.
Depends on the quarterback. It depends on the quarterback and the style.
Their number 1 quarterback. They dropped their number 1 defensive tackle. They had their number 1 linebacker, KVA, was hurting with a bad knee. Notre Dame had plenty out on their defense. It didn't change the fact that they dominated Georgia in that game. The same Georgia that beat Texas twice, the same Georgia that whooped up on Tennessee, the same. So like you talk about your record and how great it is. The comparison that Notre Dame has is Notre Dame being equal with these teams.
All I'm saying is you look at the schedule, you played a 20, a 15, a 24, and a 19. All I said from the get-go is that is not as impressive as playing 7 top 10 teams.
Whether you lost to one of them, and you lost to Michigan.
And you're right. You're 100% right. But is losing to Michigan any worse than losing to Northern Illinois?
And
Come on.
to be honest, it's one of the reasons why I think Notre Dame will actually beat Ohio State. The reason I think, and I think Eric, you alluded to this earlier, is that Ohio State will beat itself because that's what Ryan Day does. And that's why you lost to Michigan to 4 straight years.
And
that's why you lost to Georgia 2 years ago, because Ohio State will beat themselves. You should have beat Oregon during the season, but Will Howard crapped the bed. So then there was no reason for you not to actually have a 41-10 score against Michigan this year. But again, Ryan Day and Chip Kelly coach scared. And that's why I think Notre Dame ends up beating Ohio State, because he's going to crap the bed like he always does. It's the end of the year. He has to show up.
Here's the fact. I agree with you on 90% of what you just said there. Ryan Day craps the bed anytime he plays Michigan. No argument. That's the reason I'm not a big Ryan Day fan. But this team is different. And I think that, first of all, unless you guys are going to come out wearing winged helmets, you're not going to get one over like Michigan does. Secondly,
all right, we need to move on. We need to get to Mark. Hey, listen, thanks for calling in, Cotter, man. I appreciate you, brother.
Yeah, my pleasure. Great show, guys.
Thanks. Take care.
You're the man, Pat. That's why he's my sometimes co-host. I love that.
All right, I need to get to Mark with glasses before you take off, John. Can we do that?
Yeah, do it.
All right. What's up, brother?
Hey, what's going on? Just listen to the show. I'm trying to figure out why we're debating strength of schedule and measuring ourselves when we're about to play each other. Right. That's all we're doing.
It's the funniest thing. I feel like we're on an episode of The Biggest Loser, and it's like, I lost 1 more pound than you. Like, we're both fat. Like, what are we doing here?
Yeah, it's like we're acting like we're not playing each other.
We're gonna find out the truth. Who lost the most water weight? We're gonna find out.
Yeah, and like, I'm not gonna be specific about anything, but I think with a 15-game sample size, you kind of can imagine a couple of ways this game goes. Specifically, I want to call in and ask why Freeman is considered a backstabber.
Thank you for the question. Okay, so I'm going to take this one because Chris is emotional about it.
I'll get the exact quotes if you want them, Eric.
I know you do. I will paraphrase. Ohio State fans, some Ohio State fans, when Freeman came in and he stated, "I don't want to make the same mistake twice." I don't believe what he meant was, I don't want to not be an Ohio State coach. I don't want to be an Ohio State player. I think what he was saying is he was trying to relate to you as a Notre Dame fan and saying, hey, listen, I respect everything that Notre Dame is and has. And it rubbed a lot of the Ohio State fans the wrong way. Chris, all right, go for it, Chris. Take over, buddy.
He basically said he regretted his choice of going to Ohio State. Get the hell out then. If you don't want to be here, we don't want you. But don't backstab and tell the team that gave you your opportunity that you regret going there. Nobody forced you at gunpoint. You don't like it, leave. And then he doubles down on it. That's the worst part. The idiot could have just came in. He doubles down and says, oh, I was misquoted. You were misquoted. You're a jackass.
He did come on. He came on Columbus Radio, the Bobby Carpenter show on Columbus Radio, and he basically said I was misquoted. And it wasn't what I meant. And then he comes right back after that and makes the comment about our student athletes have to go to class. They don't get to take online courses. Right after this being a year or two after COVID or whatever. And it was like directed at Ohio State.
Why?
What?
Where's the lie?
Why is going to online courses bad? I took online courses. Are you trying to tell me my degree doesn't count because I took online courses?
No, not at all. I'm trying to see where the what was so bad about what he said. Is it like reading between the lines?
What? Because again, it was a slight at Ohio State, his alma mater. Ohio State fans feel like if you're going to sing the alma mater, if you're going to bleed scarlet and gray, the last thing you do is throw shade at your alma
He's
mater.
no better than Kirk Herbstreit, who's another piece of crap for another time.
I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, and then big picture, like some of your fans stink, some of our fans stink. It's coming out Twitter all over the place. I got Notre Dame 27-24. Put some respect on Freeman's name. After this L, Ryan Day's going to be 5-5 postseason. Freeman 6-1 with a natty. Out.
All right, buddy. Appreciate you calling in. Ryan Smith, I hope for your sake, my man, that one day when you're in the hospital, it's not an Ohio State doctor who your life is in the hands of. That would be bad because his OSU degree doesn't mean a whole lot, huh? I think that's the dumbest argument when we start arguing about degrees. Okay, I think it's ridiculous. Kennedy, last thoughts, man.
Number one, Chris, what do you want Freeman to do? Be the coach at Notre Dame and recruit for Ohio State?
I want him to be a man. I want him to be a man. And first of all, take responsibility for what he said. Don't backpedal like a little girl and say, "Oh, I didn't say that. I was misquoted."
I'm giving you the credit enough to know how this stuff goes. He's the head coach at Notre Dame, and you basically wanted to do a promo for Ohio State. You know that's not what's going to happen.
He doesn't have to do a promo for Ohio State, but he doesn't have to be talking crap either.
Dude, here's what I'm going to tell you, Chris. You are like the only person in America, including the national media that usually hates Notre Dame, that doesn't like Marcus Freeman. Marcus Freeman represents everything good about the sport. And I just think you should be glad he used to be one of yours because he represents every good value about the sport and coaching that you could possibly want. Being a good mentor, trying to do all the right things, a family man. He represents everything good about the sport. We need more like him. Deep down, I think you know that, but you're doing this whole big tough guy game thing. I think you know it deep down. He's a great guy. You know
I despise him with every ounce of my
it.
being.
I think too much of you to think you mean that.
I could not hate him more.
How about that for a non-insult insult? Take that.
Well, you know what? You're wrong because I could not hate him more.
You are the only one in America that thinks that. Everybody else is going, Marcus Freeman represents everything good about coaching, and we need more like him. You're on an island here because
he's a gutless coward who talks crap.
So that's number one is Marcus Freeman represents everything good about football. We need more like him, and that is a credit to Ohio State, by the way. So that's number one. Here's number two. On paper, I think Ohio State should probably win this football game, but games are played on a field and not a recruiting database or the injury list for a reason. And I just think too much overconfidence could be a dangerous thing. If you said tough game, Ohio State pulls away by a score too late, totally fine with that. There is a complete lack of respect for Notre Dame competing at all. And I'm just telling you, that could be a dangerous approach.
Understandable, but I'm not going to change my stance.
That's fine. And if you did, you would just be a Marcus Freeman. So we wouldn't
want
to do that.
That's right.
But I'm just telling you, I'm a little surprised there's not a little more respect for what Notre Dame's done. So I don't know. I'm just saying we're going all in on the underdog thing. We love the overconfidence. I love every article and YouTube video saying that Ohio State's going to blow them out. Like, whatever, man. You guys are favored for a reason. I agree that you're favored. You should probably win. But games are played on a field and not a database for a reason. That's all I'm saying.
Fair enough.
God, this was fun.
Wasn't it, though?
Dude, you know how you know it's fun and good? Is when you've been live an hour and 42 minutes and it feels like 10 minutes. That's how you know you got something good going. Like, it does not feel like we've been live this long. This was... No. And I like the mix-up of us talking and the callers and the chat. It's a really good blend. This was fun.
Thank you, John. Thank you.
Yeah, this was
Appreciate that,
fun.
man. Listen, no weird bets between John and I. We haven't talked about it. We're not going to. But I will say this, John. I will do this for you, out of respect for you coming on this show. If you send me an always Irish Hatter beanie and you beat us, I will wear it on this show. Deal?
I like that. That's a good deal. You know what I got caught in, Eric?
What's that?
I think it was before the Georgia game. You know, I got my little shtick with the chalice of malice and the chain and everything.
Yes, you did.
And one of my guys said, if we beat Georgia, you got to get an always Irish do rag and wear it on the air. So I gotta add the do rag to the ensemble here and get an always Irish do rag hanging in the back. So I owe that to my own people. So I got to get that do rag going.
Please let me see a cut-off leather jacket with this, please, as well. Come on. I mean, you got to go full ensemble here, John.
Oh, man. Listen, you guys, I do have some pride here that these are some Northern old school powers that are at the top of the sport playing for this title. No SEC stuff. I think that's a big deal, and it says a lot about both programs. I also, on the way out, I do want to commend both of these head coaches because both of them have had some rough times. People counting them out, even their own media contingent counting them out, all that kind of stuff. Both of them have done a good job fighting back from those, that kind of dynamic to get their teams on the brink. And I think that deserves credit for both of them.
Yeah. And no. Hey, I already made that bet. If Ohio State won the national championship, I would dye my beard jet black. I already made that one. That's going to be a.
Well, I'm not surprised that you would do that, Eric.
I like that.
I'll look like Macho Man before he before he passed away, when he had the whole black. He dyed it all black. He had no hair.
Your wife's gonna love it. She's gonna think you're 20 years younger. What's wrong with this? She's gonna love it. No gray.
I'm gonna come on here and I'm gonna introduce myself as Ryan Day's beard. That's what I'm gonna do.
Your beard is weird.
John, thank you for coming on, man. I know you got to run. Appreciate you, brother.
No problem, guys. This was really, really fun. Thanks for coming on my show the other day, Eric. It's good to, in a way, it all worked out, man. We became friends offline, in real life. And then all through all of this content stuff, we end up meeting up at the end. So this is going to be interesting. I'm just telling you, count on that blowout at your own peril. That's all I'm saying. I get why you're favored, but totally counting out Notre Dame completely could be a big, big mistake. But we'll find out.
We will. Enjoy this, John. I love you, buddy. Take care, man.
Have a good night,
John. Have a good one.
Thank you.
All right, guys, here's what we're going to do. We're going to keep rolling here. We got some super chats we need to run through. We have 3 more phone calls I need to get to. Those of you who are on the line who have been patient, we want to honor that by giving you guys some time. So let's do those super chats real fast. Let's read through those real fast. We got behind here. I want to make sure that we read these. Thank you so much, everybody who's dropped them in. Adam Dowling, that's a Notre Dame guy. He says both teams won 3 playoff games. Both teams deserve to be in the game. I agree 100%, Chris.
I don't disagree with that.
Yeah, this is the game we wanted. This is the game I wanted right here, and it was for this very reason. For tonight, I wanted this game for this show. It has been fantastic. I love it. $4.99 from local source. I wear my sunglasses at night. Yeah, love it, man. Chris wears his sunglasses at night all the time, dude. It's his thing, man. A good song, by the way. I love that song from the 80s. $2 holla from Buckeye Crazed 25. I love how these Notre Dame fans are oblivious, he says.
Facts.
Bobby Mack with a $5 super chat. With Notre Dame's injured O-line, I'm putting the over-under on sacks at 8 for the Bucks. Woo! Over-under for interceptions at 2. And Buckeye offensive touchdowns over-under at 5. Let's go through these real fast. I'm taking the under on sacks. Chris?
I think he's on.
You're taking either over or push?
Push. Yep.
Okay. Over under for interceptions at 2. Under. I don't think two's tough in one game.
I tend to say
I don't think Notre Dame throws the football enough for their
if
two.
Ohio State gets out to a 2+ score lead in the first quarter, it's possible.
Then they might have to throw, and then I'm going to still take under though because I don't think that's going to happen.
I think it's under.
Touchdowns over under at 5. I've got us scoring 28 points, so I'm taking the under.
I'm taking the over.
Okay. $5 holler from Ryan Day's Beard. If Ohio State wins, we're sending you a box of my finest dye. Oh my gosh.
Let me just tell you, I saw somebody say that I should be the one dyeing my beard if Ohio State wins. You know what? We'll talk about that if Ryan Day ever actually beats Michigan.
Oh, okay. All right, man. Let me get back to the regular chat, and then let's go to these phone calls, man. Let's keep them rolling here. Oh, we had a couple jump off. Man, that's too bad. You guys, we were coming right to you. They wanted to be on there with Kennedy. 513, what's up?
How's it going, guys?
What's
this
happening?
Is Anonymous Prime Entertainment.
What are you doing,
Not much.
buddy?
I hate that I missed talk to the. I know it's been a while since I've called. But I wanted to say one quick thing and then just bring up 2 points. My first thing is, first off, all respect to Notre Dame. I think they're a fantastic team. They beat some solid teams overall. But I also think Marcus Freeman's not anywhere close to done to building this team. So I think that there's more to come from them. So I just wanted to give my kudos to them for that.
I agree with you. I think, can I be honest with you? I think Notre Dame's ahead of schedule. I really do. I think Notre Dame is ahead of schedule on this Marcus Freeman era. And they suffered a ton of injuries to some key people, and they have been able to, and I can't believe I'm about to say this, Chris. They've next man up this thing.
They have.
You know how I hate that term, next man up, but they really have. But what about Ryan Day? Do you think he's at the climax of what he's built here? Like, is this the best it's ever going to be for Ryan Day? Or do you think there's more achievable here?
That's a tough one. I think he's still learning still. Like, this is his 6th year, but a lot of coaches have like 10 solid years coaching smaller tier programs. So I do think he's actually still learning. You know, that's my opinion at least. I think our run game can still get better under him.
I agree. Actually, I agree with that. I also think that given the quarterback situation, if we had, let's take CJ Stroud, for instance. If CJ Stroud was a quarterback of this team, can you imagine what numbers we would be putting up in the passing department? And that's not me taking a shot at Will Howard. That's me not taking a shot at Will Howard. I'm just saying, given CJ Stroud's talent, with what we now have in Chip Kelly's scheming up the running game, this team would look, I think, quite a bit different offensively.
True, especially if it was 4th year, CJ.
Right.
Or 3rd year.
Right.
He went early. I'm sorry.
Yeah. He was a redshirt sophomore, so that was his 3rd year. Yes. But yeah, dude.
Yeah.
So what are you thinking about the game, man? What's your thoughts?
Okay. Before I reveal I'm going to reveal my line of thinking before I say a score. My line of thinking is looking at Notre Dame. What defensive units have they played that comes even close to us? And I know they probably want to point at Penn State, but I do not think they're close to us. I'm sorry. And my other question is what wide receiver core have they played that comes close to ours? Those are my 2 questions.
Closest defensively, you're right. I think they would point at Penn State. I would say Georgia is a close second to that. I think Georgia can be physical, especially up front. The passing, maybe A&M was the closest, possibly. What do you think, Chris?
Probably A&M.
It wasn't Penn State, I'll tell you that much.
No.
They've got 0 wide receivers. By the way, we never got into this. Hats off to Notre Dame. You know how many receiving yards the Penn State wide receivers had in that game?
0.
None. Now, that is not going to happen against Ohio State. I promise you that. But still, you have to take that into account. You have to think about that for a second. They gave up 0 passing yards to Penn State wide receivers. That's one of the reasons why that's one of the reasons why I don't think Notre Dame is going to abandon what they've done all year defensively in the secondary. I just don't.
And I think that's a huge mistake.
I know you say that, but we don't know until the game.
If you do not bracket or double up on JJ, he's going to burn them. He's going to burn them bad. And that's the reason I've got such a big point spread this game.
What do you think about all that, Optimus?
Optimus. I wish I was Optimus.
You got Prime in the day, man. So I'm just going to call you Optimus with it.
I like it. I think the thing is, we don't really know how it's going to turn out, obviously, but if they play man-to-man, I do think that we can get them out of their game permanently and by scoring fast, which could be a huge mistake if they don't adjust. I do think, though, we're going to keep it kind of low scoring. I think their defense is good enough to make us earn our yards like Texas. So I don't think it's going to be a huge blowout like some of my Buckeye brothers, although I would love it. I'm thinking more of like a 24-10 kind of game myself. Ohio State.
I'm closer to you with that. I've got 28-17 is my score. Which is
which
is an 11 points. 11 points. It's still covering the spread currently, but it's close to what Vegas says it's going to be. I think defensively, Ohio State's going to be able to do some things that are going to frustrate Notre Dame offensively. But I also think on the flip side, I do think that Notre Dame defensively is going to do some things that's going to frustrate Ohio State offensively. I also believe the way I broke this down was I looked at it. I broke it down in quarters, obviously. And I said, okay, if we can manage to score on average 7 points a quarter, this season Ohio State has averaged somewhere between 10 and 14 points a quarter. Against the better teams, obviously that number has gone down a little bit, but not much. So if we can just score, and on the low end of that is 7, right? So that's 28 points. If we score 28 points, I just don't see Notre Dame scoring more than 28. I don't. Not against this defense. That's how I came up with my score of 28-17.
Yeah, I think the only way they score high is if we give them some turnovers. So
and not just turnovers, but bad turnovers, right? Like we turn the ball over on our side of the 50 type of stuff. Yeah, like I'm not. Listen. I don't think an interception is necessarily the end of the world. If it's you taking a shot deep, you know what I mean? It's almost like a punt in a lot of ways. And I think the defense is able oftentimes to take a reference from hockey. They're able to stand on their head, when that's the case. But if you turn the ball over, inside the 20 on your opponent's side of the field, on your side of the field, you're going to, like we did against Michigan, it's going to be tough for the defense to keep them out of the end zone. So that's just what it is, man. So anything else, brother? We got some folks calling back in.
Just one last thought.
Sure.
I think that the fact that we did a very sloppy game against Texas means that we are going to come in on fire this week because the coaches will be at them, and that's really good for us. So that's my last thought.
All right, brother. Thanks for calling, man. Appreciate you.
Thank you.
Chris. Yep, take care. OH, man. Chris, Burke says he had anger issues when playing hockey. Do you believe that?
No.
I do. I believe that 100%. I love it, man. I love it. All right, this is so fun tonight, man. We got two more callers. Can you hang around a little bit more, Chris?
Oh, I got all night.
Oh, you don't have to work tomorrow?
Maybe.
And I don't have my call list up, so this is one of our guys. I apologize. 330.
Hey, what's up, gentlemen? I just had to call in. I'm really excited. I'm going to this game, but I'm not overconfident.
Okay, you're getting to go, huh?
What's that?
I said you're actually getting to go, huh?
I'm sorry, get to go?
Yeah, you getting to go to the game in person?
No, I wish.
Oh.
I wish. Actually, I'd probably be watching it at home. I wish I could go. But did you see those ticket prices, by the way? They were wow.
2,000.
No, I saw them.
Yeah, this is crazy.
What was that?
$2,000 for the cheap seats, Chris said. By the way, who are we talking to tonight, man? I don't have my call sheet up.
No, that's okay. This is David. I've called in before.
Hey, David. Good to have you, man.
Yeah. Hey, how you guys doing?
Good, David.
I just wanted. Awesome. I just wanted to say, I'm going into this game with some confidence. I'm not overly confident. I do have to say, I think I pretty much called the Texas game right. I said 28-17. I did think going in, and I do think, I know Ohio State played a little bit sloppy, but I think you have to give Texas a little bit of credit here. There's a lot in sports we always use as fans that sometimes we don't give our opponents enough credit. We always think when we lose, it's because we screwed up or we didn't do this or we didn't do that. But, sometimes we have to remember they've got players on scholarship too. And I will say, I thought coming in, Texas's secondary was a lot better than Oregon's and a lot better than Tennessee's. And that was the reason I thought that they could keep, maybe hold Ohio State into the 20s. And I don't know if that was your guys' thoughts as the game unfolded. Did you see it? Do you see it more as Ohio State just being off their game, or do you think Texas's defensive game plan maybe caused Ohio State some problems?
I think they schemed JJ real well for one thing. They came in with the idea they were going to shut JJ down, and they did a pretty good job of it. I do think at times we kind of obviously got in our own way. I think the score could have been a lot bigger spread there had Ohio State not shot themselves in the foot consistently with turnovers. But I think that they did overall a decent job with Smith. But what that did was opened up things for Egbuka and Tate and for our running backs. And I really feel like I don't think we're in a bad situation either way. If Notre Dame tries to stop Smith, then I think other things are going to be open. If they try to play one-on-one with Smith, I see Smith having potentially a 3-touchdown game.
So. No, I agree. I mean, the one thing that I would say is I thought they would do everything they could to contain Smith. The thing with me is I knew we had an option B, an option C. We could even throw the ball to the backs, incorporate G. Scott a little bit, who's become, underrated as a pass-catching tight end, I believe. Made a key play to set that fourth down up to make it as short as it was and make that a manageable fourth down on the 4th and 3 where, Will ran the ball for the first down. I think that's kind of one of the more underrated plays in the game. Because weren't they in like a 3rd and like 11 or 13, I think, at that situation? And I think he got it closer and made it 4th and 3.
Yeah.
So that they could, run the design quarterback run there, which worked. But, I'm confident that even if you can't contain Jeremiah Smith, Emeka and Tate can still get open and make plays. And I thought that would be a game where they would have to do so. But, overall, just going into this game, I go in with a lot of confidence because, again, I just don't know how Notre Dame scores. Their offensive line is beat up. I think Riley Leonard has his limitations as a passer. They're a little limited. Well, I think they're a lot limited at wide receiver, although the one receiver went off against Penn State at a huge day. I think if they're going to move the ball, it's just going to be throwing the ball to the backs and to the tight end. I don't know if you see him doing any damage in the running game. What are you guys' thoughts?
Go ahead, Eric.
No, go ahead, Chris. You're fine.
Yeah, I truly feel that you nailed a bunch of points there. I do think Leonard is limited, but I will say this, I'm actually thinking back to me saying that we would get 8 sacks, and I'm not sure that I can stay on board with that. Thinking we are going to have to play some contain. The defensive ends are going to have to play a
Okay.
little bit of contain, I think, to keep Riley Leonard from taking off on us. So that I'm more afraid of Leonard with his feet than I am with Leonard with his arm. So that's going to be a big aspect of the game, is stopping the run, specifically, not just Love, but the quarterback run. But if you force them to pass the ball, we're going to have a good time on Monday, because I just don't think they can do it well. But yeah, their offensive line is beat up. Their defensive line is beat up. Leonard has those restrictions. We have every reason to be confident, and I
Right.
think you're right in being confident. And maybe I am overconfident, but I think so highly of the young men on this team and what they are capable of, that I'm not going to back off of it now.
Right. Well, I mean, I just thought right now, if you think about it, JTT and Sawyer are playing the best football we've ever seen them play.
Absolutely.
I mean, JTT before the injury, I thought was on his way to Penn State 2022 kind of game. I mean, he was. I mean, it was. I mean, they're finally getting home. Is really the long and short of it.
Right.
Because we complained so much over the course of the year that they weren't getting the quarterbacks down on the ground, but they're finally doing it. And I give Knowles a lot of credit. I mean, he's adjusted the strategy. I think if you notice, he plays those corners off. So he's not necessarily playing press. It seems like he's playing the corners off and just saying, you know what, we're not going to get beat deep, and we're going to let the pretty much the defensive line do the pass rushing and get after the quarterback.
Yeah, you're 100% right. And the fact that this defensive line all of a sudden is starting to dominate the line of scrimmage has completely changed Ohio State defensively.
Yes,
and it really kind of started after the Oregon game, and it's been a slow build up to the playoffs. And I think there was 2 things that did that. They started to rotate more on the defensive line, and the second thing so that our studs were more fresh at the end of the game. Plus, they started to do a little bit more on the exotic blitz type of stuff. Delayed blitzes, bring in a corner every now and then, the safety blitz, things of this nature really, I think, opened up what the defensive line could do, because they couldn't just key on those 4 guys. They were worried about where's the blitz coming from, and now all of a sudden you've got Sawyer getting home, JTT getting home, Kenyatta Jackson making pressure, Caden Curry disrupting things, and then, oh yeah, by the way, our linebackers all of a sudden are playing 100 times better too, and that makes a world of difference, because that gives the defensive coordinator, Jim Knowles, more confidence to dial these blitzes up.
Yeah, you know what? Early in the season, I thought I saw a lot of that. Let's bring the quarterback from 12 yards away. That never works, by the way. You ever notice that teams bring that cornerback from like 12 yards away, and he never gets to the quarterback?
Yeah.
But you're right. The blitzes picked up after the Oregon game, but they were better blitzes.
Yes.
Well, at least they were far more effective,
Yeah.
and that's the most important thing.
And I would love to know. I would love to know how many of them are delayed blitzes. Where the linebacker's reading the play and his guy is staying back in pass pro, and so it gives him the freedom to go after the quarterback. Like I would love to know what the percentage is. I would say that, I don't know, maybe 20% of our blitzes, called blitzes, are literally just the linebackers reading the play and then going after the quarterback. Any last thoughts, my man? We got 2 more phone calls to get to.
No, I was going to, by the way, I'd love to see Sonny back with Arvell Reese next year.
Yeah.
One quick thing on Ryan Day, if I may. I mean, I was totally down on him. I was like my man there. I was out on Ryan Day, but, he's won a lot
of me back, but I got to be honest with you guys. You know, and I'm confident we're going to get it done on Monday, but I still want to get it done in late November next year. I don't know what you guys' feelings are on that. I haven't heard your opinion. I know we're in a 12-team playoff world, but I still got to have it done in late November, man.
Yeah,
I do not want to live in a world that, and I hope that hasn't changed our opinions at all as Ohio State fans, because I grew up with this game, and I do not want to live in that world. I don't even want to think about. But, you know, I know we're going to win it, but I still want him to get late November right.
Listen.
I don't know what you guys' thoughts are on that. I'd love to hear it, but
yes. So when we're going to cross that bridge after the national championship. Let's go win the national championship first, and then after that, we can start to worry about, as a fan base, getting behind our head coach to go win that football game next year. Like, to me, all the focus after we celebrate a national championship is then placed on beating the rival at the end of November in 2025. That's where all the focus is going to go.
And he gets
this
one day to
offseason.
enjoy it.
Oh, Chris, we're gonna take longer than one day, man. No days off.
Great show, guys.
We can talk.
Appreciate you, man. Io, thanks for calling in.
We can talk more, Eric, but
Yeah. All right, one more phone call. We had the other one drop off. One more, brother. Here we go. 402. It's all you.
Oh, that was quick. Hey, you got me eating my dinner. I did not expect this quick. How you guys doing? Go Buckeyes.
Go Bucks, man. Who we talking to, brother?
So, I've been making my introduction recently. First, my introduction was on Always Irish. I caught around them about like in March of 2024, and I like John. I like how he presents his case. I mean, like, he's actually pretty smart, you know, and I have a lot of respect over there in those people, like John, Pat, Mark, and all those people. And then the Monday or several days before, they played Penn State. One of you guys say, hey, come on to Ohio Podcast, you know, check it out. We're just like here, but we're Buckeyes. I'm like, all right, cool. So here I am. And I got some thoughts about the game coming up, because you know, something is hit history for me with right there. So remember back in 2002, Fiesta Bowl, Miami was this juggernaut with Larry Coker, 2 Heisman Trophy winners, Willis McGahee and Ken Dorsey.
Mm-hmm.
And Ohio State, the narrative was Ohio State didn't stand a single chance in a snowball's chance in hell. Like, we couldn't just tie them up in anything. Even Miami players were having a party a night before the game, declaring that they already won the national championship. And that, you know, I love Ohio State, and I have respect for Notre Dame. And I know there's some fans that's going to have some issues, so I'm about to say, but I think it's pretty stupid. And I'm not saying anybody, you know, like you guys are doing this, but I'm just saying, like, in the zeitgeist of college football, I think it's pretty stupid to think that Notre Dame is going to get curb stomped, you know? I've observed Notre Dame, and what I've seen, I've been very impressed with how they put their schemes together. Now, the worst case scenario for Notre Dame is to go for a pound for pound fight with Ohio State, you know, score for score. It ain't going to work out too well for them. I do see that Notre Dame can bring something to the table of the football game. For an example, Riley Leonard. That guy is going to be doing a lot of running that game. He's going to be doing a lot. In historical context, last 20 years, every running quarterback in the national championship game contributed significantly to their team winning. We're going back as far as Tim Tebow, Vince Young, Cam Newton, Deshaun Watson, Jalen Hurts, those guys, right? So he's going to be doing the most running. It's a national championship game. He's going to be playing his heart out. Now, the worst case scenario for Ohio State is to let Notre Dame stick around, you know, making it like a 3-point game by in the half, you know, Notre Dame being ahead and stuff. It's going to be, you know, I don't think that it's going to be a good idea to think that we're just going to curb stomp them. I do think that they're going to have some tricks up their sleeves. Another factor, football game. It's going to be a fourth quarter game. Not 4 quarters. It's going to be a fourth quarter game. What I'm seeing is that Notre Dame is going to be able to hang around a little bit. And I think in the fourth quarter, it's going to be that X factor, like very much like Jack Sawyer, what he did to Quentin Ewers at the last part. So that's what I'm thinking. And I want you to, I want to hear what your thoughts and what you guys think about that thought, about Notre Dame being able to hang with Ohio State. What do you think about that?
I have some of the similar thoughts that you do. Chris and I disagree on this take, and that's what makes our show unique and fun is we can disagree and still be buds. But there is a part of me that feels well. First off, let me state this and be completely open and honest about this. I want there to be a blowout. I want Ohio State to blow them out. I want to go into the fourth quarter and it be a 15 minutes of celebration for us. But I do not anticipate.
I'm with you on that. Yeah.
I do not anticipate that happening. Okay. I just don't. I do believe that this is going to be a game that hinges very similar to what Texas was like. It's going to take Ohio State playing tremendous defense, being patient, and more importantly, they need to play a cleaner game than what they did against Texas. One of the reasons why Texas was able to hang in that game is because we kept shooting ourselves in the foot. I'll give you a perfect example. Second drive of the game for Ohio State. We're across the 50-yard line.
Travion Henderson hits the player.
You got it. We had all the momentum.
Yep.
If we would have gone up 2 scores, I think in another alternate universe, we blow Texas out. I think they lose hope. They're like, there's nothing we can do here. And then they're going to have to, especially if we start, running the football better. Now all of a sudden that opens things up for Jeremiah Smith. We can go over the top and bada boom, bada bing. The rest is history. Notre Dame, Chris is hinging on the fact that Notre Dame is not going to be able to stop Jeremiah Smith. I don't think Notre Dame is counting on the fact that they're going to be able to stop Jeremiah Smith. They just want to not allow Jeremiah Smith to beat them. I think that that's different. And that's a risky game to play if you're Notre Dame. It is risky. But I do think that they can draw some things up defensively that could possibly cause Will Howard to maybe see some ghosts. But here's the thing that I don't think Notre Dame is taking into account, and that is this. Will Howard is an athlete. Now, I'm not saying he's got Riley Leonard's legs, but we all know that Will Howard is going to do what it takes to win this football game. And if that means he needs to tuck it and run, he's going to. As long as he stays healthy, I think Ohio State's going to pull this thing out. The horses are going to take over. We've got more depth. I do think that we just have more speed. At the end of the day, I've got 28-17. If this thing's 21-17 going in late in the fourth quarter and Ohio State is able to score that game-winning touchdown to go up by 2 scores, there you have it. But, yeah, it's going to be close. That's my opinion. Now, Chris, take it away. Give me yours.
For me, I just think that Ohio State has too much. I think you're facing a Notre Dame team that is beaten up, extremely beaten up. Both lines, the offensive and defensive line, are on second and third string guys. I don't think they've got, they talk about these great corners. I don't think they can hang with our receiving crew. And they have not seen a defense anything like what Ohio State brings to the table. For me, I think that this game is going to get ugly. What I think is going to happen is Ohio State's going to get out like they did on Oregon, like they did on Tennessee. They're going to get out to a 2 to 3 score lead early. And when that happens, Riley Leonard's got to try to beat you with his arm. And I just don't think he's capable of doing that. So for me, I see this game going more the way that what we saw with Oregon, what we saw with Tennessee. I think this is a 41-14 game.
Yeah. Okay. I'm hoping you're right. I don't see that happening because
a lot of people don't.
No, I'm hoping you're right. Don't get me wrong. I just see them being that resilient. See, where my mindset is that Marcus Freeman got them on this narrative, this underdog narrative, and they're really next man up, okay? And I think that they're going to be able to hang with them. And the longer that the game goes, the experience, the veterans, because Ohio State has a lot of veteran players on the defense, JTT, Jack Sawyer, Sonny Styles, and the list goes on, right? And Nick Igbinosin, I know I probably butchered his name, but you got a lot of, what I'm trying to get at is that with this injury problem that they have, they're still going to be able to compete, but I don't see that going to be a way for it to be substantial, to be substantiated in the longer road. Like the longer the game goes, you're going to see the cracks, you're going to see the tears, you're going to see the inexperience showing up on Notre Dame's side because of those injuries. That's where my mindset is, and that's why I think that that Notre Dame is going to be able to compete because if you look at Nebraska, Indiana, Michigan, Texas, they're able to compete and tie up with Ohio State in the first half. They're able to slow down Ohio State's offensive production. Second half, particularly the last few minutes of the fourth quarter, there's always been some sort of explosive play that nails the final nail in the coffin on those teams. Speaking of explosive, that is Notre Dame's only hope, to have those chunk plays. That is their only hope. And that's what Ohio State's been Achilles' heel for the last 2 years. I've been watching, where they're a better team overall, coaching, talent, and everything else that has the connotations of a great football team. It's just the chunk plays that has always been Ohio State's main weakness, and then the self-inflicting wounds, like what Trevion Henderson did, that foolish thing of punching that player, very stupid. But yeah, but that's my mindset there, and I'm hoping you're right, because it'll be nice, But and I think we deserve it, because after all the BS we're hearing, after so many years, 22, that no call targeting against Marvin Harrison, I'm still salty as hell on that one. That pissed me the F off. And then 20, we had half a healthy football team walking the national championship. In 2019, we get screwed on a fumble recovery against Clemson. We just keep getting shafted by the college world. And thank God that we're able to rub it in the SEC face that their premier programs got been taken out by this so-called inferior Big Ten conference. It's just by the team, Ohio State's the fourth best team in the Big Ten, if you want to consider that, because Indiana and Ohio State are tied in terms of the conference. They only lost to crap, I forgot. But anyways, Ohio State's technically the fourth best team in the conference, and they're going out smashing these SEC teams basically, and it's great to see. I hate the SEC more than I hate Michigan. I'm a very eccentric Buckeye fan. I didn't grow up in Ohio. My parents grew up in Ohio. They moved to Florida. I was born and raised in Florida, but every game on the 90s, my dad always comes up to me, gives me a Buckeye, and he goes, "Rocky, take this Buckeye and rub it, for it may brings good luck to us, for we beat Michigan this holy day." It was like that growing up. Saturday was Ohio State, Sunday was the Browns. So, but I want Ohio State to win really bad, and I just think that if Ohio State don't commit penalties and their defense just keep doing what they're doing, and the offense just puts up more points than the Notre Dame's offense, yeah, we definitely got this in the bag. But I'm expecting something. I'm expecting from Notre Dame. They're not going to go away quietly in the night. They're going to pull something out of their hat. That's what I think.
Christian wants to respond.
No, I think it's a fair concern. I do. I just think differently, So, reasonable people can agree to disagree. So, and
I get that. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean.
Oh yeah, I mean, go on.
No, I'll just go. No, go finish your thought, man.
Oh no. I mean, I'm with you there too. I just think that there's really when you got intelligent people actually talking about football, I think that it's a win for both sides, because there's good points to be had. Because even John Kennedy on Always Irish he said something very, very, very smart, that You can be the best team throughout the whole year. You can have all the talent in the world, and they could do everything, but it only takes one night you only need to outperform the other guy in front of you for one night. And that is perfect analogy of how football works. It takes one night. It takes one night to define what you are as a team. And when you got smart people talking about that and actually being fair, there's reason and logic behind it. No one should get offended. It's like, well, that's actually pretty fair, Like, sure. I hope Ohio State blows the lid off of Notre Dame, but and it's also a big possibility too. Like scenarios, me and you are pitching, it can very well happen.
Yeah, I think some of the Ohio State's going to blow them out emotion that you're hearing from the Ohio State fans is the fact that we were so devastated after the game against the team up north, and then they turn right around and they blow the doors off Tennessee and Oregon. And then all of a sudden it's like, this is the team we expected, right? So then you get this sense of confidence instilled in you. And then now your belief in your opponent, or lack thereof in this case in Notre Dame, causes you to feel the way you do, man. Hey, man, I appreciate the call, Rocky. Do not make this your first and only. Please call us back. We do call-in shows every Thursday night, 8 o'clock Eastern, man.
Sounds good. I got a lot to talk about, so hopefully more will come along the way. Go Buckeyes, and let's beat the Irish, yeah?
Yeah, let's do it. OH, brother.
I.O., buddy.
Great call. Yeah. Mello, I think Mello's wanting to call in, so I'm going to give Mello a couple minutes to call in. Mello, I had turned off the call number, and then I turned it back on for you, man. That's why when you tried to call, it didn't go in the queue. Oh my gosh, they're all back in, man. This might be a long night. I've got a chiropractor.
Do we have a full bank again?
Yeah, I got to go to the chiropractor early in the morning. It's 10:22. All right, here we go. 574, what's up?
Hey, how's it going?
Good. Who we talking to, man? I don't have my call sheet up.
Oh, good. It's going good. Hey, I just wanted to say, I appreciate John calling in tonight. I'm Notre Dame fan.
Okay.
And I just want to say, I watched you guys' podcast the other day where you and John were talking.
Yeah.
By yourselves, and I just think that's time. Just leave it to you guys to do it by yourselves. I mean, you guys have a really good thing going on, and I really appreciated that. So,
hey man, I appreciate that. Thank you.
I'm going to leave it at that, and I was just a little bit. By your podcast, I was just a little bit not in favor of Christopher being involved with it.
Okay. Well, it was a little bit different than a sit down conversation, because when you get more personalities involved and you get the chat involved and things, it can get a little bit different. But we knew. I
know, and John didn't do that with you, and I don't know.
Hey, I understand, man. I appreciate you calling in.
I'm not mad at the other guy though either. So I mean, it's fine. I just wish there was a little more respect to Notre Dame, maybe, because I think John showed you guys a lot of respect.
He did, and I appreciate that.
To Iowa State, and I didn't feel the same way that it was coming back that way. So. But I'm going to leave it go because we're going to play it all out on the field anyway. So
that's right.
See what happens.
That's right. You might make Chris eat his words, huh, buddy?
And if I have to eat my words,
might not either. I mean, might not. I don't know. I've been a long time Notre Dame fan, and I never bragged or anything like that, but. Yeah, I've seen my share of heartaches too. So.
Trust me. But, I think all fan bases not named Alabama have in the last couple decades.
Yeah, it's no doubt about it. It's going to happen, but I just wish there's maybe a little more
humbleness on the other side. But I thought you and John did a really great job. So
Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you.
that was really awesome to watch. And no disrespect to the other guy. I just wish maybe he could maybe humbled himself a little bit more to John, just because you're both trying to do the same things. So.
Appreciate the call, my man. Chris will listen
Hey,
to those
have
words.
a good night.
Thanks,
And
man.
good luck. And it's going to be colder than crap around here. So
That's right.
See what happens.
That's right. It won't be like that inside the dome. Thanks for calling in, man.
It will not. Yep. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Well, let me just say, I have no problem with John. I have a great deal of respect for John, but you know what? I'm not going to temper who I am or my opinions for anyone. So
On we go. 330. What do you know?
Eric, Chris.
Tyler, call him
Tyler,
back.
did you start this out?
He did get it all out when he first called.
I was just like, I thought you guys were already done, but I'm only calling to get my thoughts on this game, though.
Okay, give it to me, man.
I understand why Notre Dame fans think that we're coming off as we're disrespecting them. I understand where they're coming from that perspective. It's a part of what is giving me confidence is, yeah, Notre Dame, you have a good team, you have a great team, but have you actually been here in the national championship game? You haven't.
But has Ohio State?
The Buckeyes, they were there in 2020.
Yeah.
Even though we got embarrassed by Alabama.
None of these players
we were there.
Tyler. This is like a completely, that was 4 years ago when all these guys were at high school. Seniors in high school.
I know. I'm just saying that Ryan Day, the coaching, Ryan Day as a coach was there.
Okay.
So I'm not saying like the players themselves. I'm talking about the coaching staff. They have experience in this game. And when you have that experience, you will feel much more, I'd say, relaxed in a way, because you've already been accustomed to all the media, all the attention, because a lot of it is the media attention going into the game. Are you going to be overwhelmed before you actually step out there? I don't know if Notre Dame's going to be overwhelmed by that. So, like they say, the lights can be brighter on the biggest stages for teams that are unexperienced.
No, I do think, Tyler, that there is the risk on either side of the field here, mind you, that one team is going to, shall we say, pucker up in this game, possibly. Do I think that risk falls on Notre Dame more than Ohio State? I do. But at the same time, you have to take into account, Tyler, that no one even expected them to be here. And there's a little bit of a power in the fact that there's kind of a naiveness about it, like some of these players don't realize that they should be nervous.
It's almost a nothing to lose, Eric.
Yeah, it's like, do you not realize
nobody thought they'd be there?
Exactly. Yeah, and so there is a chance, man. They come out and play like with their hair on fire, Tyler.
I do like what Tyler said about the experience, because while the players may not have experience really on either side, what you do have is an Ohio State coaching staff with Ryan Day and Chip Kelly who have coached in the playoffs before. Whereas Marcus Freeman does not have that experience. Now, granted, Day hasn't performed at his highest level in the playoffs, but arguably the best game he's ever called was that Georgia game until Harrison got hurt and he puckered up.
Mm-hmm.
So I think there is something to be said for that experience. Who knows?
I don't know. I just feel like it's a different game. Every game's a little bit different, and this coaching staff. I mean, gosh, look at the difference between how they called the game against Michigan to Tennessee.
Yeah,
the same coaching staff with the same players. The difference in that.
I would argue there's something different in these players, though, Eric.
I
attitude.
agree. I agree. There's no doubt. The results tell you there is. Tyler, what else you got, man?
I'll just one last thing is, so Notre Dame fans, don't think it's disrespect with the way that Ohio State is going in, thinking they are, us fans are being confident going in this game. Don't think it as disrespect. It's the fact that we trust Ryan Day has learned from his past transgressions. I couldn't get that word out.
Yeah, I got
He's
you.
learned from his past mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
For the most part, right now, if he wins the national championship, and hoists a banner in the Woody Hayes Athletic Center, I'm not saying Notre Dame, you're a bad team. You're a great team. I just think you're not ready yet.
Fair enough, dude. All
You're
right.
there.
Fair enough, Tyler. Hey, man. Last comment, man. I need to move on. It's 10:30. I got to get to Mello. Mello's on the line next, and then we got to wrap it up.
I know.
Man.
All right, I'm about to go right now. Oh wait.
Take care.
Tyler.
Thanks for the call, Tyler. Mello.
What's up, Pop Father?
Dude, I'm exhausted.
What's up, Wild Man?
I don't know how in the world you guys did 6 hours of podcasting one night. It has been 2 hours and 35 minutes, and I'm about ready to fall asleep.
I say we go 24 hours straight before.
You're crazy. Get out. That's why you're the Wild Man. You're nuts.
No, we need to do that. Oh, no, seriously. We need to do that next year before the game. We need to do that.
That was
We just got to figure it out. We can do that,
do a
man.
joint thing.
Nobody has done that on YouTube.
Oh, my goodness. YouTube might break. It just might break, dude.
Man, all I'm going to say is I'm mad that I missed the show. I had a meeting with my daughter's coach. It was pretty important, like, in terms of college stuff. But I was so looking forward to this show for, like, a couple of days because I wanted to talk to you guys. I wanted to talk to John. I like John. I respect him. It seems like it got heated tonight or something by the sound of some of these callers sounding all sad.
So yeah, I Kennedy and Chris kind of Kennedy's people feel Chris disrespected Kennedy because Chris went hard on Marcus Freeman. Hard on Marcus.
But here's the thing, guys. I went hard at what I truly believed about an individual who is a coach on the program. I went hard on the team and what I see. I went hard on the schedule. But boys and girls, like I tell my kindergartners, this was not a personal attack on your friend, okay? So this wasn't me going after your friend.
So give me a synopsis, like a brief
facts.
synopsis of what you said.
I don't know that he can because in the moment, Mello, Chris was channeling like Woody Hayes and was like flat out like was basically calling calling Marcus Freeman like a traitor, man. He was
He
like,
is a traitor.
here we go again.
He's a backstabbing, gutless coward.
And they got their
who
feelings,
talks
man.
crap and then backs out on it like a little girl.
Oh, it got hard in their feelings, and then they went hard at Ryan.
Oh, I'm watching it. I'm gonna, as soon as this show ends, I'm gonna watch the episode. I gotta make a super highlight from the whole season of my daughter. I'm about to watch the episode back, but I want to get my feelings about the game. I think that honestly, I don't think it's gonna be a close game, especially if they plan on playing man. If they plan on playing man across the board, which I don't think they will, to be honest with you, but if they do, the game's over at halftime. I think it's gonna look worse than the Oregon game. I really think that unless Ohio State self-implodes, there's no path to victory for Notre Dame. I mean, Riley cannot throw the ball. They're playing the best defense they ever played all year. Our run defense is ridiculous. Jordan Love is on one leg. Their O-line has a lot of injuries. And good luck with that guy, the light-skinned Ed Reed and Caleb Downs. Good luck. He unlocks everything. I remember we had a preseason show where we were talking about who's the most important players on defense, and I picked Caleb Downs because he unlocks everything. He allows Sonny to go down, and how they're using him is he's taking away the passing games up down the seam. You can't throw there because he's going to pick it off. And he's coming, him and Lathan are coming and filling the holes fast on those run plays, and they're flying to the ball and gang tackling. So I think once Ohio State goes up 2 touchdowns, the game's over because they're going to be forced to throw, and Riley that's not his strong suit. And if he even makes it through the whole game, you got to remember Lathan Ransom, every single game has sent somebody out. The Texas fans are all upset about why wasn't Arch in, because Arch was concussed and he got hit in the back. He didn't even get hit straight up. So you're going to run Riley a lot. He's not going to last the whole game. I'm sorry. Our team is just hitting at a different level right now. So if Notre Dame fans feel disrespected, I really don't care because I was in Always Irish this week and they were disrespecting the heck out of the Buckeyes, saying outlandish, crazy stuff. So, they need to stop crying about it. Now, John, he's a stand-up guy. He's awesome. I love what he does. And he's a good dude. And it's not his fault that some of his followers are crazy. But it is what it is. So, Chris, I salute you. I'm glad you made them upset before the game on Monday. They're going to really be upset after the game.
Hey, they can always tune in during the game. You know, Corey and Lisa, and who knows, maybe even Eric will be there watching that game, doing our live game watching. Hey, they're more than welcome to jump in. So
yeah, yep. But man, I'm gonna watch that show immediately as soon as you guys end the live. And I just wanted to call in. It's been a while, but if you want me on the show, my internet is 100% effective. Man.
All right,
all right, you're back up strong.
Dude, here's the deal.
Yeah,
here's the deal with what we do. So this is what we're gonna do in the off season, Mello. I'm gonna be shooting videos. We'll be shooting, Chris and I will be shooting videos that are just pre-recorded all the time. Something hits us, we'll do a video, whether we're by ourselves together or we talk with someone else and bring them on. But Sunday nights, we're basically, our roundtable discussion like we used to always have. We're going to have a guest on every single Sunday in the off season, whether that be another podcaster like yourself, a former Buckeye, etc., like a journalist, somebody. And so Sunday night, man, we'll definitely have you on Sunday night. But you and I need to shoot a couple videos together, dude, because I love podcasting with you, man. You're one of my faves.
Absolutely. And I'm going to tell you guys, I'm going to give you a word of advice. I'm not going to say any names, but you got to be careful what you say and put out there before you actually do it and execute it, because there's other podcasters that will steal your idea.
Oh, yeah,
and do it.
we know.
I'm just telling you.
We know. We've been robbed twice already.
Yeah.
We know. Yeah. And
just be careful with that.
We've been doing the Sunday night thing.
I didn't know it was like that in this game, man.
Oh, yeah.
It's become very cutthroat, Mello.
Yeah. Listen, there was a time 2 weeks in a row back. This is like 3 years ago. We did a podcast where we did like a certain topic, and I swear to God, that week 11 Warriors did an article about it.
Wow.
Never gave us credit.
Nah, I believe
Never
it.
said nothing about it. And they did it like 2 weeks in a row.
I believe it.
I was like, wow, man, they're paying attention to us. And this was before we were even on YouTube. This was just when we were audio only. I was like, either
Yeah.
yeah, so crazy. But yeah, dude, that happens, man. Like, I'm just glad we can keep working together, brother. That's what means the most to me, man. Is I love the fact
Of
that
course, man.
the Buckeye Boys and
You
the
guys
Show
held us
podcast
down. You
are
guys are
boys.
family. Like me and Deb love working with you guys, man. You guys taught us everything.
No,
And
we didn't teach
you're
you.
the pop out for a
Listen,
reason.
we
So
did
of course
not
we got to
teach
come
you
back
guys
home every once
cool.
in a
You
while.
guys had that down long before you were with
Oh,
us,
yeah.
man. You guys were already cool dudes, man.
I don't know, man. We were just talking like our first show. We like, man, we sucked at this. Like we were so nervous, and I'm like, man, I'm glad we were so grateful for you
Go
guys,
back
you
and listen
two
to a couple of
especially.
our
You
first
know,
ones.
Whatever you do not go back and listen to episode 1 of the OHIO podcast.
That's
I
the Eric
promise.
only version, isn't it?
It was me in my basement talking to air, and it was bad. Oh, Mello, I love you, man. Have a good one, brother. Appreciate you.
love you guys too, man.
All right,
Oh wait,
OHIO, buddy. We made it. What a show.
This was a long show. Hey, before we go off the air, one quick thing. Let me just go in and thank everybody who we've had a very busy day through the store back behind me the last week. I want to go on and make sure that everybody knows how much we do appreciate that. Things are going very well. Go online, check us out. The website is actually on our Facebook fan page right now, so you can find it there.
Just go to the website, theohiopodcast.com,
Yep,
click on the store link.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've kept Chris busy. And by the way, that's how I keep Chris employed. So any money that is made in the store goes to Chris's pocket. So because he does all of this for free.
Well, and let me tell you, Eric, this guy here, I think we've pumped out about 10 of them now.
All right. All right.
So I guess we ought to thank Herbie for that one, huh?
Yeah, we should. He should. He's going to be calling us up for royalties, I think. Thank you to all the Notre Dame fans who came in, the Irish faithful. I know the chat got a little swirly today. I know it did. I knew it would. So thank you for everybody for keeping your cool and for the most part being calm and collective. When you have two giant fan bases like this and you open it up to everybody, some things can get a little bit wild. And John and I were like, hey, we understand this is what's going to happen when he comes on this show. A lot of people come with him.
Passionate fan bases.
And they're very passionate. And, of course, Chris wasn't going to hold back, and we knew it was going to be a little bit wild. That's why he's the wild man. And then we open it up to the phone lines. Chris got a tongue lashing from a Notre Dame fan.
Which, I value their opinion, honestly, about as much as I do Jim Harbaugh. So.
Oh, well, you know what? I do think he was right, and he had we gave him the opportunity to call in, and he took it. It's free country.
Absolutely. Hey,
and I respect
I'm a big boy. I can handle it.
Yes, you are. You can handle it. That's right. All right, guys, we will be back. Let's see. Tomorrow is our national championship preview video. We actually have another Notre Dame guest that we brought on. Good young man from Ohio, from Northeast Ohio. Mike, I believe his name was.
Michael, yeah.
Was it Michael or Mark? I can't remember. I think mine was Michael. From the Gyrish podcast. You're going to want to check out that show. That'll drop tomorrow, okay? So go check that out on the channel. I have some really good videos coming out this week. I'm super excited to get those made for all of you on Saturday and Sunday. Sunday night, 8 o'clock Eastern. That guy, Ryan Miller, is going to be with us to pump you all up. I promise you, you will be so pumped Sunday night on our podcast with Ryan here. He's coming in to get Buckeye Nation ready.
Notre Dame fans think I'm arrogant now. Just wait. I'll be completely unbearable.
Chris will be ready. He'll be like the Kool-Aid man. He'll be ready to run through a wall, man. So again, thank you everybody tonight. We appreciate that. Don't miss Sunday night, the live show during the national championship Monday. We will be on air live. And I will be with you guys if I'm not down in Atlanta. So it's going to be fantastic, all stuff. So check on the channel every day. Come back. There's going to be something on the channel for you to check out every single day, and includes, like I said, including the live show Sunday night, and then the watch party Monday night, and then we'll have the fallout, man. We'll be ready. Thank you so much, everybody. Appreciate all of you. It's been awesome to have each and every single one of you with us tonight. We do appreciate it. Enjoy the national championship. If we don't get to talk before then, remember, be kind to one another. IO summons OH, and sing Carmen, Ohio with all your heart. Till next time, Chris, OH.
IO.
Go Bucks.